Hello? 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 Cool. Go for it.
Hello? Testing? Testing. Testing. Testing? We good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, cool.
Someone messed with the gain settings really badly. And we are starting.
Hello, everybody. I'm
It's-
Wyatt.
It's the same
and-
people from last week.
Yeah, I'm Wyatt, and that's Will, and we're coming at you today with some Wednesday Night Modern from Collector Legion in Gardena. I need to put this microphone up. I'm like crouching down.
Yep. So that is what's happening today, Wednesday Night Modern. We have Zoe and Marco as our round one today. Zoe is on Wizards.
So with 2 E's.
2 E's.
Yeah.
2 E Zoe. And Marco, what is Marco playing these days?
I don't know, because we don't have him on the list, I don't think.
No, we do not.
A little cheat sheet.
So, unfortunately, this is how much damage I did.
Oh yeah, Will's trying to play Hearthstone right now and commentate at the same time. That's called multitasking.
Yeah,
How do-
we'll probably succeed too.
How do I adjust this, by the way?
So
It just needs to go up or tilt up or whatever. Oh, perfect. All right, cool. So I don't have to like crouch down all the time. Let's go a little bit lower. All right, cool.
So yeah, that's gonna be our first feature match. Blue Red Wizards is basically burn. It is a burn deck that wanted to play Snapcaster Mage, and the reason for Wizards is specifically because they wanted more bolts, hence them being a burn deck. For
That card.
this Magic card, there you go.
That card.
It's a 3-mana bolt. Except when you have a wizard,
It's a
bolt.
It's a bolt. Yeah.
It's a bolt.
Yep. Except it doesn't get countered by Chalice for one. Very good. Would be more relevant in Legacy, but very good.
Yes, it would not get countered by Chalice on ones, which would make it better in Legacy if Wizards was a playable archetype in Legacy.
You probably don't play this in Blue Red Delver, huh? You probably just play Chain Lightning.
The problem is that the other side of Delver is not a wizard. It is a human insect.
Oh, it's not.
It goes from human wizard to human insect.
It doesn't go to Insect Wizard.
No, it goes to human insect. It gets buffed by not Champion first. It gets buffed by Mayor of Averbrook, but not buffed by what's the name of it?
Wait, but isn't there like a Delver Lord that buffs wizards?
Yes, but that was from Shadows, and that one starts as a human insect and turns into an insect wizard.
Yeah, but it buffs wizards.
But it buffs wizards and makes 1/1 wizards, and 1/1 wizards get +2/+1 and flying, so it makes Delver secrets.
Okay, anyway, looks like we're starting off here, Marco, with that's the
This is looking like Jeskai control, but possibly blue white.
that's not
That's a Celestial Colonnade.
that's the promo Colonnade. Okay.
Yeah.
I can't tell what Zoe started off with.
That is a Gitu Lava Runner. It is
Okay.
a 1-mana 1/2 that gets +1/+0 if you have 2 or more instants in your yard. I believe it has haste.
Did she just flip a? Oh my God! She just flipped a Thunderous Wrath.
That's 5 upstairs. Let's go.
We're off to a great start. Alright.
So Land Bolt does mean that the Gitu Lava Runner can get in for a sizable amount of damage here, but it's just gonna be follow up Soulscar Mage and in for 1.
Dude, I'm bad on my wizards. I know like Grim Lavamancer.
Interestingly, it does gain haste when you have 2 or more creatures or instants or sorcerers in your yard, so it turns into a wizard version of Goblin Guy without the downside.
Dude, that's pretty good.
And we are going to see a fetch from Marco down to 13. 11, so it looks like it's going to be a Lightning Helix. And it is.
Okay.
So back up to 14.
Yeah, and this matchup is really just all about Marco protecting his life total as well as possible.
Yeah, the issues with Snapcaster Mages are going to be a little bit slow. The blue-red Wizards deck does play Remand and other various counter magic spells like that. So you can be put into an awkward position where you just don't have the time anymore. It is a pretty pure tempo strategy.
Yeah.
We might see Vendilion Click come down at some point. Another one of those very powerful tempo plays that you can make.
Yeah, looks like Marco plays a Search for Iskanta.
Yeah, Search for Iskanta and a Field of Ruin, and in for another 1. So unfortunately, not with the second instant to turn that into a Goblin Guide.
Yeah, and she passed. I think I don't know quite what's in her hand. It's kind of hard to tell there. Her sleeves are kind of reflective.
She might be missing a 3rd land drop, so it is just going to be an end turn opt.
Okay. Thinking about whether or not to keep it on top.
Notably, other prominent wizards in the deck are cards like Vendilion Click, Snapcaster Mage, Lava Mancer. I mean,
Yeah.
those are kind of the big ones.
No, I probably, if she was still out in action, I probably would have opted main phase, right?
Yeah, just to try to find another land and make some action going.
Like worst case scenario, you get in for another point of damage, right?
Yeah, I honestly don't think that Wizards is the kind of deck that's looking to play at instant speed, unless it has only instant speed things to do.
Yeah. I mean,
Otherwise, you can just get the extra points of damage in, find more action for this turn. So, like, imagine if Zoe just drew this land last turn instead and was able to follow up with another real threat.
yeah. So right now, she's starting into Cryptic Command mana.
So that is an
Which-
attack for 2 this time, though. So that's at least kind of real.
Yeah, Marco kind of wants to do something about this.
And it looks like it's going to be a Pat's Exile.
That doesn't feel too bad, I think, if I'm Zoe.
No, I think you kind of accept that. The issue is going to be finding enough burn spells, and that should be exiled, but it'll probably get moved there in a bit. And that actually does matter in this matchup, because she
Yeah,
plays 3 copies of Grim Lava Mancer.
You know a lot more about the Wizards deck than I was expecting you to know. Got ratios and everything.
I mean, the deck is pretty straightforward, right? Like, a lot of the deck cards are just 4-ofs.
Yeah, I mean,
and
there's
then,
not that many good
like
Wizards.
Vendilion Click, you're cutting down on. But basically, like, your core wizards are like this Lava Runner's like budget Goblin Guide, right?
Yeah.
You have Snapcaster Mage, which is just kind of a wizard. Delver of Secrets, which is an awkward wizard.
Yeah.
A very, very awkward wizard.
Yeah, but I mean, if it's not an awkward wizard, then it's a 3/2 flyer, so that's pretty good.
So seeing a Field Rune going
Yeah, it's gonna
after
fire off the field.
the Steam Vents, Zoe definitely has another basic and should just float the blue. If she has Vendilion Click in hand, I would like to see that fired off here, and she does.
Ooh, how about that?
And that will target Marco, and we'll see a good look at Marco's hand. Pat's Exile, Cryptic Command, and Supreme Verdict.
Supreme Verdict.
I think you're taking the Pat's Exile over the Supreme Verdict. Supreme Verdict will tap Marco out on his turn if he chooses to
Yeah.
go for it, and the Cryptic Command is just not
Like
that threatening here.
Like if you want to think about the Cryptic Command, then you think about it, but it's either between the Cryptic Command or the Path, because the Verdict is just the worst version
And that
of
goes
the
on the
Path.
bottom of the deck.
Yeah, that goes. Oh, okay. So because Brutal Wolf 13 with the 1 viewer,
Yeah, that's
single host.
that's Johnny.
Oh, legit. What's up, Johnny?
That should go on the bottom of the deck.
Yeah, so I think what happened is Marco probably said that because the Field of Ruin resolved and he's going to put it on the bottom after, maybe, but that's not right.
I might have to go out and fix something.
Yeah, we might need to correct some game state a little bit here.
because there are 2 problems with this game state at the moment, and I'm gonna go. I'll be right back.
Yeah, okay, go yell at them. So I believe the path should be currently shuffled into Marco's deck, and Zoe's creature should be exiled that got pathed earlier. Will's gonna go yell at him in a sec, and come on, camera, work with me. Hello. Okay, that's just gonna be blurry, I guess. That's okay. You don't need to look at me. We fix it?
Yeah.
Okay. I was looking at the camera and not at the stream.
Okay. Yep. So that's been fixed. All the game states return to its natural state of not borked.
Yeah. Okay, now if you're Marco, I don't know. Do you supreme this thing, or do you take 3 and cryptic something?
So he's passing the turn back, so it looks like he wants to
Okay.
hold the cryptic mana.
I think I'm pretty okay with this if I'm Zoe.
Yeah. I'm just looking to attack here,
Yeah.
and then worry about playing cards post combat.
Yeah. If she plays something right now, she just runs into very easy cryptic tap.
I don't even know if you necessarily tap. Tapping just saves you 3 life.
I think you're pretty interested in saving 3 life, but it depends.
I mean, Blue Red Wizard. Okay, so of the spells to cast pre-combat, that's a spell that makes sense. So Marco's going to stop Zoe pre-combat, and this is an opportunity for Marco to get blown out. A remand here could just be absolutely game ending, but Zoe does not have it.
So that's kind of curious from Marco. I probably would have.
Well, in this case, you're not countering a creature because you're just going to Supreme Verdict now.
Oh, sure, I guess so. So it doesn't really matter. He has the white for Supreme, right?
Yeah, he should have
okay.
white, red
Yeah, yeah.
plus, and mills the path. which makes sense if you're going into Supreme Verdict this
Yeah, I mean,
turn.
you're gonna Supreme anyway, right?
And he actually is looking for a 5th land. He's missed 2 land drops now. Finds it. So he's going to be able to flip Search for his Kanta on his next upkeep. Going down to at least 12. Down to 10. Fetch Jock.
Business. That's called doing your opponent's job for you. That's a hollowed fountain.
Oh, you know what? That's not true. He did not have the second white source.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought.
Sorry, that's the Expedition Steam Vents.
God, I hate that. Come on, Marco, make it easy for us. All right, well, that's all right. That's cool.
That's going to happen. There are no spell quellers that Zoe's looking to play here. The question is if Zoe has a follow-up Vendilion Clique.
Yeah, if Zoe has a flash creature, either another V-Click or a Snapcaster Mage into... Well, no, I guess it'd be Snap Opt, I guess.
Snap Opt, not super exciting here. The lack of bolts is going to kind of hurt Zoe in this spot. She's gotten the requisite points of damage in. She now just needs to kind of burn Marco out.
Yeah, and if she has, I mean, she
drew a snap.
Okay,
but I'm not sure if that's exactly the line here. The thing is, like, I don't really like passing either.
Yeah, I kind of like doing something while...
And still no play from Zoe, so I think she's taking a little bit too passively here.
I mean, on one hand, yeah. On the other hand, if you can get Marco to tap out for anything and then just go like a whole bunch of burn spells, then I think that's also a line.
Sure, but if that's what you're playing towards, she should have played the land that she drew.
Oh, sure. I didn't realize she drew a land. Yeah. Yeah, I'd probably just keep playing those out.
And end of turn, search for his Kanta.
Yeah, because now Marco just starts to do some stuff that...
And he's just looking for helixes and snaps. Yeah, that's a helix.
Okay, that was bad for Zoe.
I think you can go ahead and just point that upstairs right now.
It's safe.
I mean, it's fine if you don't want to. You could theoretically save it for like another haste creature.
If he doesn't have another piece of removal in hand, I think saving it's fine. Because he did mill that other path, so it might be a little unlikely. Oh, he has another search.
That's a little bit less exciting. Just filtering through some draws here.
Dude, best of both worlds. Sometimes you just want, what's that blue Theros god?
This is a old enchantment. That effect is a really old enchantment. This particular card. It is an old enchantment that's 2 mana. Look at the top card of your deck. You may choose to leave it on top or mill it.
Okay.
So we are seeing an end of turn Snapcaster Mage. But you're thinking of Thassa, which costs 3 mana.
It's indestructible. And sometimes it's a 5/5 if you play Merfolk.
And you can pay 2 and a blue to make a creature unblockable.
Yeah. Dude, that thing was good in standard.
Yes. It has seen Fringe play in Merfolk at times.
It has won me at least one modern game. So there you go. I think I've won every game I've played that card in. Which was probably
one of them,
like 1 or 2 or something, and I'm pretty sure they were all against Jund.
I don't really know how Jund beats that.
They cannot beat that card. It's very hard.
And that is a Wizard's Retort, which is counterspell.
Logic Knot for
Doesn't matter.
A whole bunch
for 1.
Oh come on! No respect for the Simian Spirit Guide. That is.
I am not a fan of that Wizard's Retort on this. Search for his Kanta. I don't think it matters. Yes, your opponent is looking at more cards, but this is the best opportunity you're going to have to push some damage through. Sulfur Falls is the land for the turn for Zoe. You need to shove. Only blue mana up. So double bolt is lethal here.
Yeah, this thing has prowess. This is like this is the doorway to get somewhere.
And it looks like it's just in for 1.
Could be.
I see 1 Wizard's Lightning. So currently for 5.
Okay. Is she just doing like this super slow roll? I really hope she is.
I really hope not. Slow rolling is...
How do you go to 7? Did we miss the life gain off of Helix or something?
No, he was at 10. Right? Or do we miss a fetch?
I don't know. I don't know.
He should be at 5 now, right? At least.
Maybe he just didn't. I don't know. I'm kind of inclined to just give it to him just to see. I don't know.
A little bit weird. But Zoe did not have enough of the requisite burn to cross the finish line here. And a turn. I hate this. If you had this was plenty of damage last turn. So I think Zoe's just unfamiliar with kind of burn counts here?
I think. Well, I don't know. It's one of those things. Yeah, he was 12 to
He was
Helix.
12?
Okay, that's kind of what I thought.
I get that he's at 12 because of Helix. Oh yeah, because he Helix the snap. But
Yeah.
even if he Helix the snap, with the way the kind of deck plays out, you got to take the windows when you have them. It's better just guarantee the damage coming through than provide your opponent an opportunity to actually use their counter spells.
Yeah, your mana efficiency is way less than finding the windows where your opponent's not doing anything and getting in there, right?
So the issue is now you've given Marco the opportunity to untap, activate Sorcerer's Kanta, and find a Cryptic Command and counter, or even just find a Lightning Helix and counter your bolt that way while killing your creature.
Yeah, this just lets Marco do anything. Like, there's something he can do in 1 blue mana.
Spell Pierce.
I mean, if he has it main deck, then if he's running that, then
More power
good
to
on
him,
him. He probably would have done that on the first Wizard's Lightning.
Yeah, we did miss 3 life there.
Okay, yeah. Thanks for keeping us honest.
Slow rolling is uncouth.
Slow rolling is the only way. If you're playing instant speed burn spells, right?
No, because your opponent was tapped out.
I mean, just for BM purposes, because your opponent's playing like Jeskai control or something.
Well,
stupid.
I mean that's how you lose to a counterspell because you try to slow roll your opponent.
Oh, I don't mean like wait for them to untap and do it. I mean like look at your hand, think about it for a second, lightning bolt you, look at your hand, lightning bolt you again, game,
So Marco's thinking really hard about this. So he probably does not have a counterspell in his hand.
Yeah, he.
And we are seeing this Helix being cast now, and it connects. Marco's down 3. A little bit surprising.
The lightning, yeah.
The Wizard's Lightning
Helix.
does connect. Sphinx's Revelation.
Okay, that's why he was thinking so hard, I guess.
But you see, he's still in basically the same spot as he was before, right? Now he's at 8, but there's 3 damage on board and a certain number, and he is tapped out. This hella happened on Marco's end step.
Yeah, so now Zoe. Okay, well Zoe just needs to flip a Thunderous Wrath, and
with like a Wizard's Lightning.
I didn't get a good look, but it's 2 burn spells per game, right? Or Thunderous Wrath.
2 burn spells is game. 1 burn spell puts Marco down to 2.
Yeah.
And there is Burst Lightning in this deck.
Okay.
So that's a Wizard's
That's
Lightning.
a Wizard's Lightning. Okay, so Marco's down to 5 and at an effective 1.
Or sorry, down to 1 actually, just
Yeah.
straight up 1. So all the fetch lands are off.
Yeah, I mean that's.
But Marco probably found a Snapcaster Mage at this point.
I mean, he drew a lot of cards. I'd be really surprised if he didn't find something.
Yep, definitely don't want the
Yeah,
Colonnade.
That's too slow. Okay, that's an island. That's good. That's
I see a
untapped.
Bolt in hand.
Well, he has a way out of this game in one way.
1, so Serum Visions? He might not.
I meant bolting himself in the face.
Oh, I mean, that isn't out, I guess.
I didn't call it out as a way out of the game because Anyway, ignore me.
So we are starting with what looks like a Serum Visions.
You gotta find something. Kind of weird that you draw that many cards and find kind
Nothing.
of garbage, but I don't know. Control decks play a lot of garbage. Looks like a path.
I don't know if
maybe?
the Scry is super relevant unless you have another way to draw cards.
Well, he has the Azcanta, right?
That's true, but if you're playing on
I mean, you got to kill both things right now. Well, okay.
He needs to kill both things and hope Zoe doesn't have another snap or another burn spell.
He needs to kill both things or kill one thing and have enough mana to activate the Colonnade, which sucks, but it keeps you alive, right?
Yeah. Well, with the Path to Exile, you can just activate Colonnade, block, and Path.
Yeah, exactly.
And he currently has 2, 4, 6, 8 mana available.
Mm.
So he does have the mana available to block and use a removal spell, but basically forcing any burn spell, or Marco needs to make sure that Zoe doesn't have another burn spell or another Snapcaster Mage here. So Cryptic Command to tap the team and draw.
Yeah, I'm guessing.
And that is a Wizard's Retort. Can't tap those 2 lands. Got to tap 2 blue.
Oh, there goes that island.
It is literally Counterspell.
It is not. It is almost literally Counterspell.
I mean, currently it is literally Counterspell. Right. And a second Cryptic Command
Oh
countering the Wizard's Retort. I imagine counter draw and counter draw tap.
Okay, well, if Zoe has anything, then that's game. Yes. Marco is done.
1 mana. This is looking like a Lavamancer, and it's a Soulscar Mage. It's worse.
Yeah.
So we
okay.
know that Marco drew Path to Exile, so he has at least one removal spell checking the creatures, and he also has a Colonnade, so he has another thing checking 2
Yeah,
creatures.
but now he needs 2 removal spells.
So he now needs to be able to check all 3 creatures on the table and Fade to Burn spell off the top.
That's asking a lot. I mean,
And-
having 2 Cryptic last turn was a lot.
And burn
and that-
spells left in Zoe's deck is 1 copy of Wizard's Lightning, 4 copies of Bolt, and I think 3 copies of Burst Lightning.
Yeah. They play some amount of that.
Yeah, it's a shock, but sometimes it's better than a
With
shock.
upside. Well, I forget what the upside is.
It has a kicker to make it deal 4 damage.
Oh, yeah.
You pay 5 mana to kick to deal 4 damage. It's not great.
I dig
but
it. Well, she also has Thunderous Wraths.
Oh yeah,
Presumably that wasn't the only Thunderous Wrath in her deck.
I would
if it
be
was,
I would
then
be shocked
She
if-
is a gaming god.
I would be shocked if she was playing more than 1 copy of Thunderous Wrath. That's definitely the kind of card that you just kind of have to high roll into, and playing the second copy is usually more pain than it's worth.
Yeah, maybe. Marco going in the tank a little bit here.
He's still counting his mana. Like another Cryptic Command also technically buys him a turn.
He only has 1 more though, outside
Well,
of a
it's like Snap
Snapcaster.
Cryptic
Yeah,
is an option.
but he has played 3 Cryptic commands this game.
2 mana, so this is looking like a Snapcaster Mage.
Yep.
Snap,
There's our boy.
Helix,
That's the promo.
and we know that Marco still has Path in hand, so this will put Marco back up to 4.
Okay, that's okay now.
And he does have the creatures checked here, although the Snapcaster Maids will trade off.
Yeah, because you path via
You have to Path the Flyer.
that guy's called
Storm
Storm
Chaser Mage.
Chaser Mage. Yeah,
You have to
Storm
path-
something Mage.
You have to Path the Flyer, and you know Zoe's Hellbents as well. So that does not look like a counter spell or a burn spell. Turn him sideways.
Yep, I mean
Block.
you do that.
Oh, it was a burn spell. Marco down to 1.
Down to 1, I think.
Logic not.
Snapcaster Mage.
Logic not. Helix.
Helix.
Sure. So life total stay the same.
That's just as good.
Yeah, and he gets to save the path in his hand as well.
'Cause he does have the path, right?
Yeah, he does have
Yeah.
the path. He did describe the path to the top.
I wouldn't be against just pathing. Well, I guess. Oh, but he wouldn't be able to path and Helix.
Well, the reason why I would have pathed
No, he would have. Yeah, because he could type the Howled Found to play the Snapcaster Mage. But I guess
I guess he did it after the Prowess trigger resolved.
oh yeah, he totally must have done that. Okay, never mind. That was terrible.
The big thing is like the reason why I would have saved the Snapcaster Mage there is
Storm
because
Chaser Mage has 3 toughness.
paying 5 mana for your base level Sphinx's Revelation here could be enough, because it would have drawn you and gained you 5 life.
Yeah, if you snap Sphinxes.
Yeah.
I mean, he has quite a few cards in hand still.
mean, he
so
does still
might
have-
something left in the tank.
He still has Path. Like Path is still in his hand.
Yeah, that's just Lightning
And-
Bolt. Okay,
Maybe he doesn't. Maybe he didn't take the Path.
it's a fairy. Okay, so this is where
I mean, we're still in the same
Marco's
spot
at
though,
2.
right? Like Bolt off the top is just
Marcus
game.
at 1. Never mind.
He looks like any of the burn spells for Zoe is basically game here, because
Yeah.
like Marco would need to have another snap or cryptic command, and he's been through 2 snaps and 3 cryptics. I guess Logic Knot plays as well. I believe he has enough cards in his graveyard, but I don't know.
He has a ton. That's a lot of cards. He's only
Yeah.
exiled 2 or 3. You can also just pay
Ooh.
normal mana into it. What is?
Adelise, the Cinder Wind.
I have no idea what that card is. Is that new?
It's also
Ooh, that's a quick lightning bolt.
oh, it's super dead. It gives it has team.
Oh,
prowess.
that's this card. Okay,
It
well,
has team prowess. It gives the team prowess.
that's cool. Well, that would have been game if you didn't have another lightning bolt. But Marco did indeed. Now he's going searching.
But incidentally, this game actually did come down to the fact that she didn't main phase Snap Bolt,
What?
because that would have been the extra point of damage here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean,
like, from a
this
few
game
turns
could
ago,
have been over.
just, like, not-
several times.
Not
Yeah.
maximizing the damage that she's putting out.
Yeah, I didn't get a good look at what card he got off that.
I didn't see it.
I saw it. I just didn't recognize the art.
Can you describe it?
It looked like that Snapcaster Mage, but it obviously wasn't. That's as good as I got.
that does not.
We can go review the footage later.
That does not help me.
Okay.
So at this point, I think Zoe just kind of needs to hold cards and hope for the best. But Yeah, this is probably not
Just
resolving.
just hold, cross your fingers. Come on, it's good enough.
Snapcaster.
It's not good
Cryptic
enough.
Command.
I really hope that was not actually a Snapcaster that he got off of the search. I really, 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 really hope that wasn't. I guess probably Snap Cryptic, right?
Yeah, Cryptic draw. Like, might as well get the draw.
Yeah.
Or it might even be Cryptic bounce my Snapcaster.
Oh yeah, it goes for the draw. I'm behind that.
I think I would have gone for Cryptic bounce my Snapcaster just to get the extra Snapcaster activation. It gives you access to 2 more Cryptic commands.
Yeah.
I think if you do that, I don't think there's a single way you can lose this game.
That's a Secure the Waste. That's gonna end this game real fast. Okay, so if you were Zoe, were you supposed to shoot the lightning bolt there, or were you supposed to sandbag it?
You were supposed to sandbag it.
Okay, that's kind of what I thought. Because if you have stuff in your hand, then it prevents him from going
trying to kill you.
Like he can't go Secure the Waste for well now he can, but he previously wouldn't be able to go like Secure the Waste for like all of my mana or almost all of my mana.
2 mana.
It's just instant though, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it is an instant.
Yeah, okay, so I guess I wouldn't change that much, but it would change a little bit.
3 mana.
Electrolyze you.
I don't really get that.
As opposed to just securing.
As opposed to just holding onto it. I guess like you untap 2 lands, but
yeah, I guess it's almost free. Just wants the card draw.
Just show off the Sulfur Falls and die.
Okay. Okay, well, okay, that's cool. I wish I was a cool enough guy to draw all 4 of my Cryptic commands in a game and also like 3 Snapcaster mages.
He could have just secured for...
I probably would have secured for everything, right?
1, 3,
like
6,
I think
9. That was more than lethal.
That would be game, yeah.
So he's down to 8.
Alright, well, he's just styling, I guess.
I think he just wants to draw cards, I guess. He drew a Helix.
Drawing cards is fun.
He has a Helix in his hand. He definitely has a Helix in his hand.
Yeah. Which means you...
Snap Helix.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, okay, that's going to be game then. Oh, or not. Oh, it's going to snap Lightning Bolt face.
Snap Helix.
Or whatever. Oh, yeah, it's still the Helix mana.
Yeah, there's a Colonnade plus a...
Oh, it did get the Lightning Bolt.
Why Lightning Bolt?
Because it's a cooler card.
That's
you have these really nice player promos. You got to show that shit off. None of this dumb Lightning Helix crap.
Yeah, rip Wizards.
That's a shame. This game was very close. Obviously going down to 1 life multiple times on Marco's end.
Snap Helix.
And I think Zoe has the advantage in this matchup, but I think she kind of she gave Marco a little more leeway than she had to.
I mean, yeah, like when you're playing with prowess, like the problem with these tempo strategies is particularly the prowess creatures.
Yeah.
Prowess encourages you to play your spells main phase, and tempo decks generally don't want to do that. They're kind of trying to do the threat and protect it kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's just not ideal against control decks, really. Control decks, I don't know if you really want to try to tempo out your opponent. Like, if you can force your opponent to tap out on turn 4 for Supreme Verdict because you put too much pressure on the board, you're winning because then you have a full turn to do whatever you want.
And if you had like a couple of those turns.
Yeah, and she didn't necessarily maximize the amount of damage she could have dealt in that turn.
Yeah.
So like the key turn kind of came down to if she snap bolted, that bolt is worth 4 damage on that turn, and that would have been lethal. Many turns down the line where Marco doesn't have the ability to make an extra fetch or have an extra mana up, right? Because one of the turns that Zoe lost, it literally came down to double Cryptic Command, which Marco wouldn't have had access to if he didn't have 1 more land in play.
Any good sideboard cards for Jeskai against elves? Anger of the Gods.
Anger of the Gods, Wrath of God, specifically over Supreme Verdict because of Regenerate.
Yeah, fuck Supreme Verdict, Wrath of God.
And extra copies of Engineered Explosives. What else can you really ask for? Most of your deck is pretty good against elves.
Yeah.
Like, the more copies of Electrolyzer in your main deck, the better your matchup is.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
But on top of that, like, just sweepers, right? Like, Anger of the Gods, good in the matchup. Supreme Verdict, good in the matchup. It's still
Yeah.
good in the matchup. If they don't have an Azuri, it's really good. If they do have an Azuri, it might be good enough.
Yep.
Wrath of
Good
God,
stuff.
absolute hoser. They cannot play around Wrath of God,
Yeah. Their best play against Wrath of God is hold up company mana and hope it's good enough afterwards.
basically.
That is a lot of elves. That's a lot of elves.
I mean, the matchup is pretty good for you generically, but if you're trying to specifically target the deck, like Staticaster is fine against elves.
It's okay.
It's fine.
I don't
It's
know-
not insane. It's fine.
Are you interested in playing Staticaster in your sideboard normally though?
Yes.
That's all right.
I think you're probably playing 1 or 2 copies of your sideboard anyways.
Okay. Yeah, so I could see it. That's fine.
But like sweepers, Staticaster, more removal. Basically, if it says kill a creature, you bring it in, right? Like for the most part,
Yep. And then you keep some amount of counter spells for companies and chords and stuff like that.
but generally you don't want to keep too much counter magic in your deck post board.
Yeah, you keep like logic knots and things like that, stuff that can also get the creatures. Although you have to be worried about.
Like I think I'd rather keep the cryptic commands. The issue is mostly the Cavernous Souls on top of that.
Cryptic Command can stop you from losing to like an Azuri turn also.
Cryptic Command is a 4-mana fog or a counterspell, right? Like
that draws you a card.
You'll take that.
Yeah.
But
Darkness. White has fogs. Does White have modern fogs?
White has 2 fogs in modern that I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay.
Dawn Charm and
Dawn
Riot
Charm.
Control.
Oh yeah. Oh, there's also the human one, right? Or is that green?
That is white.
Yeah, the one that prevent all damage
From
except
non-human
for
creatures.
yeah.
Prevent all damage from non-human sources.
Which
basically.
I would not recommend playing because it turns out one of the best creature decks in Modern right now is humans. But
your Living End matchup is really funny. Grafdigger's Cage does nothing.
yeah, don't put that in there. Don't get baited. Although you probably don't have Grafdigger's Cage in your
Snapcaster deck.
sideboard
But like
anyway.
the issues, you
Yeah.
also probably don't have Rest in Peace, which is the best card I have against Living End.
I feel like you still want Rest in Peace in the sideboard. Like I feel like the decks where Rest in Peace is good. It's better than Snapcaster Mage, right? That's just my personal opinion.
People are pretty greedy when it comes down to it. They don't want to like cut into their main deck cards that hard sometimes.
Yeah, well, that's dumb because if you're playing against Dredge and you play Rest in Peace, the game is over. And if you play Snapcaster Mage, you lose. So I don't know.
For Tron, your only option for Tron,
Yeah,
really,
I'm on board with that.
the way you're gonna win this matchup if you have this card is you counter their turn 3 Karn because they always have it, and then you untap and crumble to dust their Tron land and hope that's good enough.
Yeah. What's the 1-mana counter that counters a source?
Ceremonious
Rejection. Yeah, that's a good one for that.
But that is
Also good against robots.
But that
they
is the
don't need
matchup
help.
basically. Like you need to be able to counter their Tron payoff, and then you need to immediately cut them off Tron. Cards like Fulminator Mage, which is more common in Grixis than Jeskai for a lot of reasons, tend to be okay. But the issue is if you're on the draw, they're still too slow.
Yeah, you need to be on the play for those. Unfortunately,
You need to be on the play for those. On the draw with Jeskai, you need to counter 2 Tron threats into Crumble the Dust to wheel to win the matchup.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's asking for too much, honestly. Having 2 counterspells can be good enough post board when you have Ceremonious Rejections coming in as a 1-mana counterspell.
yeah.
But the fact is, your deck is overloaded with things like Bolt and Helix, and that's just not what the game is about.
Yeah. Zoe takes a quick mulligan. I think
Yeah, and Marco's
is also doing that.
joining
yeah.
her.
What kind of sideboard stuff do you think comes in on Zoe's end? I'm
Let's see.
guessing.
Jeff Hoogland.
Yeah, all right. Get the Hoogs up there. What does he play in that
It's
deck?
Blue Red Wizards. Jeff Hoogland.
Yes. What is?
Oh yeah, there are Nimble Obstructionists in this deck, by the way.
Oh yeah, that card's sick. That
Uh,
card is sweet.
So notably, this isn't Jeff Hoogland's list because she is playing Wizard's Retort over what
Reman.
looks like remands in mana
Yeah.
leagues.
Well, she's also playing Thunderous Wrath, so we know it's not a 1-for-1.
It's not a
definitely.
1-for-1.
But what kind of stuff might they have?
So these are some cards that Hoogland had. Abrade wouldn't be any good. Alpine Moon wouldn't be any good. Disdainful Stroke, not any good. Dispel, that one does stuff. I bring that in.
Is just I guess the Saintful Stroke only hits
It only hits Teferi and Cryptic,
Yeah.
and I feel like that's a little bit too narrow. Like you can use it to counter a Logic Knot, but when you're getting to that point, like Mana Leak and Remand and
Yeah.
those cards are just a little bit better.
If you have stuff like negates, do you bring that in, or do you just say fuck it and bring in more like damage density if you have any of it?
I would bring in some negates. Some of your creatures are kind of poor.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I guess you probably want to get off of your non-haste creatures.
And Adelise might be a bit poor as well, just because she costs 3 mana.
That's expensive. Yeah.
3 mana for a sorcery speed threat in this matchup seems a little bit risky. But down to 18, shock into turn 1 Lava Man.
All right.
One of the more effective threats against control decks. It just kind of lets you leverage playing cards.
Yeah. I mean, if your stuff gets countered, it's still in the graveyard. You can still do stuff with it. Also, conveniently, a wizard.
So with your 2 more slots, you kind of have to decide what matchups you want to hedge against. There's only so many decks you can try to make your sideboard good against in Modern. If you're trying to beat Tron, Crumble the Dust is probably as good as you're going to get.
Yeah. Please put Crumble the Dust in your deck. Please do that. That card's too good not to put in there.
It feels like you might have too many counter spells in your sideboard, though, with 2 Rejection and 2 Stroke.
Also, don't run Alpine Moon. That card's bad. That card's bad, right? I can say that on stream.
Okay, depends on what you want Alpine Moon for. If you're trying to use Alpine Moon for Tron, Alpine Moon is bad.
Yeah, don't do that.
Alpine Moon's bad, just like Damping Sphere is bad against Tron. It just doesn't do enough.
I think Damping Sphere is fine against Tron because
Damping Sphere is better against Tron because it doesn't give them the green mana to just Nature's Claim your Damping Sphere.
Like you can play it in whatever deck. Like it's fine as long as you're playing it in a deck that can kill the Tron player, right?
Yeah,
that's fine.
But like, I don't feel like Jeskai controls a deck that's looking to kill the Tron player.
Jeskai can't do that, so they have to do something else. And Alpine Moon doesn't do that.
So 16 for Marco.
All right.
As this Grim Lavamancer attacked twice. You do not want the Angers in the main.
Yeah.
If you have 2 Supreme Verdicts in your main, that's already as many sweepers as you can afford to play in the main that are super, super narrow, kind of. Like
I could get behind like a Sweltering Suns in the main.
Sure, but I'm not sure that's what you're really looking to do in Modern. Fair. Like a 3 mana cycle in matchups where it's bad is just pretty poor. And you'll also run into a situation where Sweltering Suns does not cut it.
Yeah, that's true. All right, so it looks like both players kind of on a slow start. So we didn't have any turn 2 anything.
Get to Lava Runner.
Okay, who is a 1/2 with nothing.
Yep, and in for 1.
Yep.
This has been very anemic.
I mean, yeah, but also Marco hasn't killed his Lavamancer yet, so...
Yeah, this Lavamancer got him for 4 points of damage by attacking 4 times.
That's value.
As a point of reference, Zoe has cast 2 spells this game, and they're both sitting on the table.
If Lavamancer was a Goblin guy, this game would be over right now, right?
Yes, it actually would
just be over. If that
was 8 damage instead of 4, and Marco was at 8 instead of 14, this game could have been very over. And I think this is a byproduct of Zoe kind of playing a counter heavier build.
Wah, wah.
That's gonna resolve.
Well, it has to. All right, that's a shame. Yeah, no problem about that feedback. By the way, glad to help.
Land. Zoe's just like sitting on nothing.
I really don't know what's in her hand. Like, if she has 4 mana and nothing to do, I wonder what she has. Especially in the face of, like, your opponent taps out for Cryptic and you just don't do anything again. I wonder what's in there.
Feels like it's got to be a whole lot of nothing.
How? Is it all lands? What is it? This deck doesn't run that many lands. Like,
I feel like the issue is that she might be playing
she
might be playing too many counterspells.
Yeah, that was kind of my fear. Obviously, counterspells not very good against Supreme Verdict.
Well, I think it's just an issue with counterspells in Modern in general, right? Like, either the decks are playing Cavern of Souls or they're playing too many cheap things for your counters to be really effective.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Right, like, counters can be tempo positive, but only if you're really countering things that are more expensive than what you're doing. And if you do nothing with your turn, you're tempo negative.
Yeah, if you're okay on a turn Lightning Bolt upstairs, pretty sure that's good.
Yeah, I can't see why you would stop that.
I don't think you counter that unless you have like logic. I mean, no, that's expensive logic mod. Got a negate maybe.
Looks like this is gonna be an attempt to snap bolt. This snap is probably not.
That one's probably not gonna happen. Okay, he dispels.
So it does resolve.
Okay, so he dispels Lightning Bolt. That's not bad.
Sure.
That's
acceptable. You'll take that trade.
You now have a 2/1. That's damage. You saw how much that 1/1 got in there for.
I mean, this one's probably dead, but you know, acceptable.
It might be. Yeah, Jeskai players are weird like that. Resident also Jeskai player Wan Lim does that.
But you see, Wan Lim also foiled out Miracles.
Okay,
foiled out Storm.
Okay, so maybe it's just that every single Jeskai player used to play Yu-Gi-Oh. Like every single one, maybe. I don't know about Marco, but maybe. Like an old.
This
He's
isn't-
like an old TC guy. He might maybe played Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know.
I don't know. Like, I don't like foils.
I don't like Magic foils. I think Magic foils are garbage.
My
But,
issue with foils is largely to do with the fact that if you're trying to play at a competitive level, the issue with foils kind of compound at higher REL events where your opponents are willing to call you out on that kind of stuff. In particular, if some of your cards are foil and some of them aren't. But you also run into issues like even when your deck is all foils, sometimes some of the foils in your deck are notably more warped than others.
Yeah, all foils not created equal. Wizards of the Coast has bad quality assurance, and foils curl like crazy sometimes.
But like, that's a remand in Zoe's hand. I can definitely see that.
Okay, well, that draws a card at least. Okay, so
That's Bolt. This could be the start of a good story.
yeah,
Relic. She has a Relic in her sideboard? I don't like Relic in this matchup. I would not have bothered.
I feel like Relic kind of turns off some of your stuff too.
Yeah. Especially with Lava Runner. Lava Runner is one of your main threats.
Lava Runner, Snapcaster Mage. I think that's one more, right? Or maybe I'm wrong. Oh, Lavamancer.
Lava
Yeah.
Mancer. I would not bother with.
Which the only three creatures played this game, all get hit by Relic.
Even if she's had it, like, she should have played it out turns ago. Yeah. Marcos
Yeah.
is going to take this on the face.
Okay.
So if Marcos is taking this, you pass a turn, and you're going to bolt on Marcos' end step. You can play the Relic here just to tap in.
Just start getting it going.
But
I mean, maybe she might bust it once like an Azcanta comes down or something like that.
yeah, but I still feel like the value of just forcing Marco to keep filling up his yard.
Yeah, and I think I would rather have the card right now. Like you already exiled the Bolt, which is really the only thing you care about in the graveyard. So just blow it, right?
Yeah. Remand looking medium here, but is this a second Supreme Verdict?
You remand this just to draw a card? No.
No.
Okay.
No, because you're gonna try to fight over the bolt.
Okay.
And Zoe does not fire off the bolt on end step.
Weird. Maybe she wanted to rack the Relic first, so she would have access to the
but
Bolt
she hasn't
later?
played. She hasn't played the relic.
Yeah, but then
still.
she didn't play it. I don't know.
I don't know why she's sandbagging this relic.
Like, I think there should be some amount of sandbagging to be had. I just think this might be a little bit too much.
Like you're only playing tempo when you're actually doing things with your mana. If you're just draw going, you're not playing a tempo strategy anymore.
You're being the worst control deck.
Like you're trying to be the worst control deck in this matchup. This is not a matchup where you're gonna win games because your opponent ran out of things to do.
Oh no, Marco has a lot of things to do. They're not all good, but he can spend a lot of mana to do whatever.
So yeah, I'm like pretty like even in general though. Like I always felt that just adding more bolts to your deck does not make a deck better.
I disagree, but
Because if that were the case, then Burn would literally be the best deck, and Burn plays like 16 actual bolts.
well, Burn's a pretty good deck. Burn is, I'd say, a pretty good deck. That is, if I was to pick, I don't know, a handful of decks to play as like, yeah, so one of the best decks to play, I'd probably pick Burn.
So we down to 16.
But Marco picked up a Logic Knot.
And-
Marco does not have Future Sight Logic Knots. How do we feel about this? I know you don't give a shit.
I totally forgot that not even got reprinted in Modern Masters.
Yeah, well, it should be really obvious because it doesn't have the goofy Future Sight border.
End of turn op from Zoe, not particularly impressive. And also, again, the
whatever.
remand is looking really bad here, and she had a good window to force some damage through.
Remand your opt? Question mark. I mean, maybe she's saving it. Maybe she is worried about like Sphinx's Revelation.
No, I don't think that's a Snapcaster Mage.
Because like if you can get Marco to tap out for like a Sphinx's Rev or
Sure,
a,
but if he taps
like,
out for a
Secure
Sphinx's
the Waste.
Revelation, you probably just bolt and win the game, right? Like,
yeah, I guess so. Huh?
Like, the
well, no,
remand-
okay, well maybe she can like kind of get it in such a way where like she can maneuver the game. Okay, well now she finally plays the Relic, but maybe she can maneuver the game to such a way where like she can go for the lethal bolts against Marco, and he taps out for like something to do anything, and then she can remand it, and then she can win. Although I think that only works with like Sphinx's Rev, probably, because even if he has Cryptic, he just Cryptics again.
5 mana. Secure the Waste for 4.
I'm remanding that.
No, I would not.
Really?
It's a 4-turn clock,
I guess half your threats fly.
and this is getting countered.
Oh, just hard counter it. Okay, that's fine. That's a 3-mana counter. That is
The issue
That
is the
is n-
logic not coming up
that
here.
is not draft playable.
So the problem with the sequencing is that if your opponent has another counterspell, remand returns the counterspell back to their hand. If you remand first, and then they counter your remand, and you remand your original spell, you can be in a better spot. Like, yes, the spell resolves, but you have you have a counterspell back in your hand. Your opponent's burned to counter magic 2 spells to get their force their spell through.
Yeah. Because it would go down to 15.
Yeah, and that's a remand on the Logic Knot, but now the Logic Knot can just get recast.
Yeah, but he did have to eat a certain amount of cards out of his graveyard, so it's harder for him to do that.
But it looks like Marco is not actually willing to isn't willing to tap out to force the secure the waste through, even though Zoe tapped out for that remand.
Well, yeah, because what Marco can do is just then
Oh no,
maybe this is still just in resolution because she has to draw
no,
a card.
because she just drew from remand, so remand resolved.
Yeah,
on the
so
Logic
now he
Knot.
can just Oh,
I don't like that.
that's not what I was expecting. So what I was expecting to happen was that he would then, I don't know if he had the mana actually.
He had 2 more mana untapped.
Did he have
and,
2 blue?
Yeah.
Okay, I couldn't quite tell because of these stupid foils. Yeah, so what he could have done was then just Logic Knot again and retarget the wizard's retort.
Yeah. I feel like this is some missequencing.
Yeah, I think that was a missed opportunity there.
I think Zoe's been playing this game way too slow, and I think Marco could have gotten a little bit more value, but it probably doesn't matter.
Okay, well she's shooting off with Serum Visions here.
Serum Visions in a tempo deck does not make.
I don't know.
Top.
It's a blue deck. Top.
Those better all be burn spells.
That's got to be gas. It's probably gas, right? You don't keep those on top if there's something else.
I agree.
Still surprised to see the relic the relic's not even being activated.
No, I don't know if she's.
But I'm surprised not. I'm
now.
just surprised not to see it get popped already. I guess she's waiting for something. I guess as long as that's on the board, it kind of stills any Snapcaster Mage, I guess.
So we're seeing when is this happening? Draw step?
This looks like in response to the activation of
the lands haven't been
Colonnade.
tapped yet, so.
Oh, then why is it there? Did he just move it? This must be draw step then, I guess.
2 mana, Logic Knot.
Yeah, you knew about that one.
Yeah, you remanded that. That one you knew about.
Yeah, and you could have
very easily prevented that.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there that goes. All right.
That's most of your pressure now. And Marco probably doesn't animate anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's just passing the turn back.
Okay. All right. So we have anything here? An opt.
I would not consider that to be anything. You also scried that card to the top already. So.
Yeah, you knew about that one.
Bolt face.
A lightning bolt. All right.
I feel like this is a cryptic command.
Force spike. Not force spike. Whatever the white one is.
Mana Tithe?
Mana Tithe. Let's go. Come on. Damn it. Okay. Cryptic command. Lame.
Counter draw. Top spell.
Oh, I thought she was scooping for a second.
Another burn spell. If it's a cantrip, I'm gonna be very tilted.
Yeah, you don't keep that there if that's what that
These
is.
aren't brainstorms and ponders, so
I
pondering into a pondered isn't even very good either.
Yeah, I wouldn't keep that even if they were.
Brainstorm you probably
I'd keep brainstorm. I'd keep brainstorm because
brainstorm is broken.
Well, because brainstorm could just get you like 2 cards to win the game, right?
Yeah.
But no, I think Zoe just needs to bite the bullet and crack this stupid relic already.
Like if she cracked the relic on the before she played the Vendilion Clique, it probably has to get cryptic commanded.
Well, no, because Marco can just pump the mana into the Logic Knot. He doesn't have to.
Sure,
pull
but
from the
like
graveyard.
if he is pumping mana into the Logic Knot, you take those.
Yeah, it's better. Okay, we're snapping, we're bolting.
Snap bolt upstairs. That one resolves at least.
All right, now crack that damn relic. Get rid of that thing. It is time.
Bolt back.
Okay, that's fine. Your Snapcaster can die, and then you crack the relic.
I don't like this Wizard's
Alright,
retort. I don't think
that
fighting
gets
over
countered.
the bolt
I mean,
necessarily
yeah.
matters.
I think it could matter, but I think the
And-
likelihood that Marco, okay, it finally happened. These graveyards are out of here. We've reached critical mass of stuff to make us do that. Does she have? Did
Zoe
she?
needs to draw a card.
She needs to draw a card. That's. Maybe that's why she didn't crack the relic.
Yep, Marco reminding Zoe to draw a card.
Okay. Yeah. That's good. Good on him. I appreciate that. Thank you, Marco. We're looking at cards here. Both bottom. Not what he was looking for.
I mean, he's really just looking for like a timely reinforcements at this point.
Do you think you or well there's Teferi. I don't know how much this matters right now, but it will win the game very fast otherwise. Or relatively fast.
Depends on what the last card in Marco's hand is.
He's down to 1, huh? Yeah.
Yeah. If the last card in his hand is a counter spell, then Marco's in trouble. If the last card in his hand
It looks blue.
Yeah, if the last card in his hand is a burn spell or a removal spell, then the Teferi is going to just win the game.
What's Teferi's minus? I've never seen it used.
Put the target non-land permanent
that's right.
2 from the top.
Okay, that's right. Okay,
Or 3 from the top.
It's a
It's like a condemn.
unacceptably absent. Yeah. Okay.
And it is a draw.
It looks like he has a cryptic command and I think a hollowed fountain.
I think so. But it's not like the Snapcaster Mage can attack, because that's 6 mana open for a colony block. But if Zoe has a requisite amount of burn spells in hand, I think you make the attack anyways.
Yeah, make him do it. Yeah, because
So that's a Wizard's Lightning in hand and a Storm Chaser Mage.
okay, so you. Man, the Storm Chaser Mage is bait, but you think you have to do it, right?
You have to play the Storm Chaser Mage. And I think on Marco's side, you almost have. I think you might not counter this. You might go for the tap team, but.
I think you go counter tap.
Does he have a Logic Knot?
Oh, that's the mystery card. What was that? That's right. We saw this before. What card is that? Is that Mana Leak?
Yeah, I think it is.
Spell Pierce.
I actually like the Spell Pierce here.
Yeah, pay more mana. Yeah, that's good. That I'm on board.
If this Spell Pierce resolves, you don't. You let your thing die because you have Wizard Lightning in hand.
Another Spell Pierce. Sure, I guess I like that one less. That explains why she wasn't doing anything this whole time, I guess.
Yeah, so she does have too much counter. Oh, it's a remand.
That's a remand? What the? Whatever.
2 mana. Recast it.
Remand. Are you sure that's a remand?
It's a promo.
Did they not have promos in Gather?
I don't think. Let me
Go get on that shit. Oh, what just happened? The game ended.
Wizard's Lightning. It was game.
Oh yeah, we knew about that.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Good job, Zoe.
I do think Zoe still played that game a little bit too slow. There were a lot of opportunities that Marco could have pulled that one back. The Spell Pierces, again, they would have been better if you're actually able to leverage them into something. And
looks like Marco doing some resideboarding, pulling out. I think that's pulling out, not putting in.
yeah, I'm not sure why he's sideboarding face up though.
I don't know. They know that was a 1-1, right?
They didn't go
We
to
get Jessica
time,
on
right?
camera again. I don't know. This did take a while. If this went 1, did this go 1-1-1?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's time. Whoa, what the hell? Okay, well, all right, guys. So that ended in a tie because that was the time in the round. I'm gonna go find some more people to put on the camera. We might see Jessica again. My boy Juan Lim is playing right now. I don't know if he's gonna get on there, but we'll see. I'm gonna go find some people to put up there.
What? What just happened?
I don't know.
So it looks like they went to turns. It was definitely a draw because Zoe had the Wizard's Lightning in hand for lethal. So we'll see who we get up shortly. Didn't actually expect that to happen. we'll be getting our round Q. That's not a round number. Yep, so I'm here hanging out in the meantime. This is Collector Legion. We are a store in Gardena. Our address is on our stream. I am hiding off camera because my microphone is very far away from the camera. So you see most of the door instead. And it looks like we're getting Sal and Mikkel on stream. Sal, I believe, is on some sort of black-green X deck at the moment. Mikkel is on Infect. Mikkel only plays Infect, and Mikkel plays Infect in every format. And he was quite good at it. Recently got second at the PTQ at GP Los Angeles. He lost in the finals to Mike Herberls.
All right.
So yeah, I heard Sal versus Mikkel.
Yeah.
Do you know what Sal's playing? Because I don't think it's humans.
I'm guessing Abzan. Abzan Traverse probably, because that's what he was on last week. And he's not on humans again.
Yeah, because James has his humans.
Yeah, because James still on humans.
I think it's Abzan.
Oh, there we go. Thank you, Sal. That is Abzan. That is Abzan ass Abzan.
That
Actually,
is very
it
Abzan.
Traverse? I
didn't see a Traverse, but it's definitely some sort of Abzan
I didn't see any
deck.
Traverse or Bobble, but
I mean, it's definitely an Abzan shell.
yeah, it's some kind of Abzan. It's not too far away from that. And then Mikkel's on Infect, of course.
Yeah. Mikkel is on Infect. His kind of bread and butter deck, as it were.
Yeah, he's been doing pretty good recently, it turns out.
Yeah, he won a PPTQ not too long ago, and he got second at the the modern PTQ at the GP.
Oh yeah, all
and
right.
He lost to a pro in the finals.
Who was it?
It's like Mike Herberls or something like that.
All right, cool. Never heard of him.
He is credited with inventing the blue-green Turbofog, the Bant Turbofog deck in Standard right now.
Okay. Well, I don't like him then.
I love him.
I know you do. Maybe I like him because he's putting the fire under Wizards incidentally. Anyway, Mikkel being,
Herberls.
I mean, Sal knows what he's up against, but in case anyone was questioning it, there's that big fat Infect counter at the top there.
And he only plays Infect, so it's not.
No, that's a lie. He also plays black-red.
He does
Devotion.
play mono black Devotion with red splash for sideboard Blood Moons.
Yeah.
But the only deck he ever does well considerably with is Infect, and it is the deck that he plays. It is
okay. Well, I've most recently played against that deck, so. All right, and by the way, did you know what has the matchup advantage? Black, splash red, Devotion, or Slivers? It's Slivers. For future reference, for your tier 5, like kitchen table tournament matchup records.
Slivers sucks.
Slivers is actually not that bad, but it is not the best.
Slivers is probably worse than humans.
Well, Slivers is definitely worse than humans, but against that Jeskai deck, if you're playing humans, I think you probably lose, and I think if you're playing Slivers, you probably win. So that's just how, I mean, it's, I think you probably lose against a lot of the other matches, but, you know, anyway, starting off, Sal with a basic Swamp, doesn't need to protect life total, does it anyway. Inquisition, alright, we'll see what we're going with.
Yeah, unfortunately, Modern Fog is mitigated by the fact that there are too many decks in Modern that never take a combat step to kill you.
I couldn't really take a look at what Sal took.
That is a Glistener Elf.
Okay, that is a Glistener Elf.
And the rest of the hand is Noble Hire, Pendelhaven, Blossoming Defense, Blossoming Defense. I believe that's Vines of the Vastwood on the top.
Wait, there's only one Blossoming Defense.
Oh, you're right. One of the Mutagenic Growth.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the card underneath the Mutagenic Growth is. Can't tell.
I didn't quite get a look. Anyway, yeah, there you either take the Glistener Elf or I think you take the Blossoming Defense. I guess the Vine / Blossoming.
I mean, you definitely just take the Glistener Elf.
that's a higher.
Yeah, that's a higher.
That's the foil one.
This is how you die to damage. Fatal Push?
Well, he was on. He knew.
Yeah, Fatal Push.
Okay, yeah, that's getting pushed. He knew because he played Basic Swamp. He wanted to protect his life total from that beatdown plan.
From the Infect backdoor plan of hitting you for 20 damage.
Yeah.
Suppose accounting for 10. Top deck Inkmoth Nexus. That's the hardest one for Sal to beat, especially because he blew the Fatal Push, but he does have a path in hand. Not that the path is going to be super reliable here, but
yeah, but you still
you at least have something.
This is going to be hard for Mikkel to get going because, I mean, you need to keep dumping mana into this thing every turn, and I think this was
I think he has another land. He might have another land in hand.
No, I think that was it.
No, because I think he drew a land for the turn on his first turn.
Oh, okay. Anyway, we'll see. But it's still going to be a lot to ask for because this might only be like, a pump spell a turn.
Yeah, he's looking for at least one more land, so that he can activate without fear from a single removal spell. Sal will need to be tested on 2 removal spells to get through.
Yeah, and at the very least, be able to like activate the.
But a Lingering Souls here could just be game.
Lingering Souls would be a lot to get through. I think. He would need to draw a Blighted Agent.
3 mana. That looks like a Lingering Souls.
All right, that's probably the best card that Sal could have played there, outside of probably Fulminator Mage, which we would not be able to cast. But anyway,
Fulminator Mage does get countered actually if he tries to go for it on his own turn, because he can animate tapping the Inkmoth Nexus and then use the Penal Haven to protect it.
Yeah, no, you're right. No, not the. Oh yeah.
So shock.
Okay, it's had another land.
We're just gonna animate anyways. The question is you have the single block. Penal Haven is going to protect it, so it is at least a free spirit out of the way.
Yeah, and Mikol can basically keep doing this until he gets through all of those things. But by that point, I mean, that costs mana every turn.
There is a bobble.
Sal's definitely on Traverse then.
Well, he might not be on Traverse. He might just be playing a really terrible cantrip.
I really hope he's not just playing baubles for the sake of playing baubles.
Well, I mean,
that
like
sounds real bad.
I guess. I don't know. In for 1, 17.
Yeah, whatever. I'd rather play... Oh, I guess he can't play Tarfire.
No.
I'd rather play Bitter Blossom then.
But Bitter Blossom doesn't actually put tribal into your yard.
Yeah, it does when somebody kills it.
Who's going to kill it?
You discard it with Liliana or whatever.
That's bad value.
It's the same exact value as discarding like a Tarfire or something.
But it's not the same exact value as discarding like a Lingering Souls and not losing a card.
Sure, but Lingering Souls is not a tribal enchantment.
Plenty of lands for Mikkel. He's not going to be in trouble of trying to like keep whittling down these spirits. But there is an issue of clock at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, Sal also doesn't have anything going on either.
Well, we know that at least one of the cards is Path to Exile.
Yeah.
So if Mikkel animates, he will be forced to use a protection spell on it. But Glistener Elf is not a bad draw here.
You snap that off.
And I agree with I think you let this one go almost, but he's going to go for the Vines and protect it.
Okay.
The issue I think with doing this is that if Sal has another Black Source, although he did miss a land drop, you could be opening yourself up to any of the Lilianas in his deck.
Yeah. Sal just has a lot of way to kill.
Nazis.
Okay.
So he's going to be able to take the... Okay, so his hand is just...
Vines, Mutagenetic, and Blossoming. I think you just take the Vines because it's both hexproof and the most pump in the same card.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think you take the Vines. It is a little bit more mana intensive, but unless if the Glistener Elf is still on the table, it does not matter.
Okay, well, I think this is still the second best choice. The Mutagen Growth obviously is not what we're looking at, but this is still like quite a bit of. Well, I mean, so with the Vines now, that actually means that Mikol only needs to be unblocked once and draw like another source of 4, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Sal's still at no infect, and
yeah,
he does still have 2 blockers for this Glistener Elf.
Yeah. Okay. Follow.
All right, infinite blockers now, so this Glistener Elf is checked.
All right, so now this is where Mikol feels bad about like saving the Glistener Elf because now it's just blocked on the ground.
Yeah. And it's currently instant sorcery land artifact, pretty sure. So it's a 5/6.
Yep. We should get a Tarmogoyf die probably.
Yeah, it's definitely a 5/6 right now.
Buy that TCG or the SCG one or whatever, or just make one. Yeah, that'd be useful, right?
Sal's tapped out, so Mikkel could theoretically force lethal if he has like a Distortion Strike.
Yeah, I can't. I think he drew another Blossoming. Is that another Blossoming Defense in the top card of his hand, or is that?
I can't tell.
It had like that kind of red circle thing in the art. Never mind, that was a land.
Well, that does.
Okay, so get ready to look at this, right? Like, that's a Verdant Catacombs, I think.
Yeah, that's a Verdant.
And compare the Verdant Catacomb art and the Blossoming Defense art. It looks like just the same image flipped over, right? From this distance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty easy block here. So fetch down to 14.
Guys, don't use expeditions. Don't do it. Save us.
Oh, I mean, it's better than using like the Dryad Arbor from the vault. That looks just like a forest from Lorwyn.
Yeah, well, that's just called being a scumbag. That's not called trying to pimp your deck and instead just being an incidental scumbag. That's being a purposeful scumbag. Yeah. Do you?
This is actually relevant because Infect often plays this card. So this is what the forest looks like from the vaults. And then let's see if I can find the land.
No. That was Dryad Arbor.
Yeah, that was a Dryad. I mean, it is a forest, but
yes, but it was not. Oh, yeah. Sorry. Excuse me. Anyway, what are we doing? Looks like Sal tried to. Did Sal draw another Thoughtseize? What happened? There's now a Vines in the graveyard, so something happened.
He used the vines to kill the Tarmogoyf.
Oh,
he pumped his.
Yeah, okay. We're really good at this, by the way.
And not 4-11 now.
Yeah, so that again, I think Sal getting bitten there by not taking that Vines. Because now this Glistener Elf is a thing again, you know. Okay, well you block both these. He can only save one with the Pendelhaven. He has to do something else to save the other
one.
He
has the Mutagenic Growth, so
yeah, but he has to. Yeah. It's not free.
Yeah, he's still just trying to whittle down Sal's blockers, but another Inquisition off the top. That's not a particularly strong draw here. So like,
a Dismember.
I don't think you fire that off. I don't think it matters.
Well, no, I mean you don't pay. Your life total is too low to pay for life to kill a spirit. I think.
Yeah, he is pathing.
Okay.
Attack for 2. Puts Mikkel down to 9.
Yeah, I guess gotta get him dead. I mean, okay, so Sal's still on no infect, so Mikkel and empty-handed, he has to work pretty hard to get this done, I think.
Like, he's gonna be able to animate and kill another spirit this turn, and depending on what Sal's hand looks like, he could be on no pressure. Like, if he has to keep holding back a spirit each turn cycle, he could find himself in a lot of trouble. He does need to find like a Goyf, and it looks like he must have some creature here, otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Oh no. He has a Lingering Souls Ager from a while back. Okay, so that's totally fine.
Yeah, so Sal can continue to block this thing for a while, keep getting in for 2 every time. Mikkel's at 7, by the way.
Yeah. Block, pump.
Yep, we're just going to keep running this back forever.
It's another land.
I probably would just sandbag that, I think. But I don't.
Sal's still stuck on.
Yes, Sal's actually on like no lands, which is weird. No Siege Rhino for him.
Down to 5.
Yep.
And
there's another Tarmogoyf. That's a big deal. That has to get blocked next turn or Mikkel dies, so that might be it.
Animate, attack, block.
Yep, do that. Pump it, sure.
Pass.
Alright.
Draws the 4th land on like turn 30. Attack. This is like for 12.
Not quite for 12, but yeah.
There's like a Dryad Arbor in Mikkel's deck probably that he can use to block here.
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Okay, yeah. So he's gonna go get the Dryad Arbor.
And this attack could be an overextension from Sal, given that you only needed the Tarmogoyf to attack that's present lethal.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think what Sal's gonna do here, I don't know if that's blocked yet. I would, if he has the ability to kill that in blocks, I would probably kill that in blocks, right?
Yeah, but I don't know if he actually has that.
I mean, what else is this deck but removal spells and creatures? What else? And obviously
a bunch of removal spells that can't hit lands. Like Abrupt Decay cannot hit a land.
I guess so. Yeah. Okay. I get Maelstrom Pulse. Also can't hit land.
4 mana. She'll live Voice of Plenty.
The fuck is that?
It's a 4 mana 3/4 that can Gavony Township your team.
Oh, it's that thing
for 6 mana.
That card's garbage.
Yeah, and Mikkel's going to pick it up.
Doesn't matter. Garbage is good enough. All right, Sal picks up the first game. It kind of just really slowly stripped Mikkel out of anything. I think Mikkel really had to like peel a Blighted Agent at some point in order to get through like the Lingering Souls.
The turn after he drew the Inkmoth Nexus, if he actually had a Blighted Agent for that turn, Sal probably would have died.
Yeah.
Given that Mikkel would have been able to protect it with the protection spells in his hand, and Sal was kind of limited to 1 removal spell a turn. So Sal probably would have lost that game if the turn after his exact draw was Blighted Agent. I think he had more than enough infect in his hand, or more than enough pump in his hand to kill Sal. Yeah. Although he might have been short on green mana, because he wouldn't be able to kick his vines.
Right. Yeah. So what kind of sideboard do you think we're looking at right now?
Mikkel has Spellskites.
Spellskite's good. Do we care that much about what's it, Wild Defiance?
Wild Defense is only
It's
for Bolt
really
decks.
only against Bolt, right?
Yeah, because it means the bolts are dead. In this case, all Sal's removal spells are still alive. You can theoretically get some backdoor kills involving Spellskite and Wild
Yeah.
Defiance.
Well, so Wild Defiance makes each individual spell you have better, right?
Yes.
So do you think you just bring it in because of that? Because you know Sal's going to be trying to strip away your stuff?
No, because it costs 3 mana,
Okay.
and you kind of just need to chip in for damage anyways. And if you're tapping out on turn 3-4, you're leaving your creatures kind of unprotected, which
Yeah,
is
I
why you
guess so.
generally only want them against Bolt decks, where the vast majority of the time your creatures are getting removed by damage, and now they can't be.
Okay, yeah. I think if you have anything that makes your guy unblockable that isn't in the main deck, you bring it in.
Yeah, if you
I
have
think,
Distortion Strikes and such.
Yeah. Counter Magic?
I like Spell Pierce in this matchup.
Okay.
Spell Pierce will counter the Lingering Souls and will counter the Lilianas.
Yeah, it counters enough, I think.
So I do like the Spell Pierces in this matchup. On South side, similar to Jessica Control against most decks, anything that says kill a creature,
Yeah.
you bring it in.
Kill dude. Bring it in.
With the exception of extra Birth Decays, you probably leave, if you have a third or fourth Birth Decay in your board, you probably leave those there.
Yeah. If you have something like Collective Brutality, that's really good. You want that.
Yeah.
You want kill spells. You want, whatever.
And Liliana Last Hope is also very good against Mikkel. Unless he uses a
Yes.
protection spell, it doesn't matter how he saves his creature because they'll die on his next untap/upkeep step.
Yeah.
Because state-based actions are wonky.
Okay. Yeah. That's weird, but sure.
Because Liliana Last Hope says until your next turn,
Right. And not the end of.
not the end of this turn.
Okay. That's. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So then on
yeah.
their upkeep step,
Yeah.
priority shift occurs, but because before priority shift occurs, state-based actions are checked, and your creature is -1/0, and it dies
Yes.
before you have the opportunity to
Yeah,
try to bail it out, basically.
Yeah. Which might mean if Mikkel has any of the other weird infect creatures that like are bigger, do you bring them in?
Yeah, you'd probably bring in Viridian Corruptor just because it's a dude.
Yeah, just because it's another copy, and also it conveniently doesn't die to that. But
Yeah.
because it's a 3/2, right?
It's a 2/2.
Yeah.
3 mana
Okay.
2/2, 1 green 2/2 Shatter.
Yep. Shatter because whatever. Is it only Shatter?
It's only Shatter.
Oh, okay. Whatever. You can tell I haven't really played against that card.
I mean, it's really in the deck for like Chalice of the Void, and to be an extra dude. Like you used to see Necropede a lot in these decks.
Yeah, I'm familiar with like Necropede on like the budget versions, and I've even seen him.
Well, Necropede's not even
normal...
budget, right? Necropede costs 2 mana, which makes it
Yeah.
a totally viable option. It's not like the infect creatures are expensive; they're all commons.
Yeah, but I mean, I've seen it in the budget version of the deck.
Yeah.
But like, as in like the deck that the version that can't play another color outside of green.
Oh, sure. Both players on moles 2/6,
Okay.
and let's update this match score.
I think that definitely benefits Sal.
Yeah, mulligan against discard decks is pretty rough.
Yeah, and also just Mikkel's a boggle deck. He needs a boggle and enchantments, aka an infect creature and pump spells, and he needs both of those things. And if he doesn't have both of them, then his hand sucks and doesn't work. So
Well, his deck is significantly better than Boggles in the sense that if you only have one of those things, you're probably still fine.
yeah, I mean, if Boggle had a man land that was a Boggle that only cost 1 mana to activate, and also didn't, how'd that work actually?
There is a land that has hexproof and is a creature.
Yeah, but
if you put an enchantment on it, it will fall off when it turns back into a land.
Okay, well,
So-
it needs enchant permanent on it.
So, and enchant permanents don't give enchanted permanents, plus power and toughness because they don't have power and
Yeah.
toughness. But also being on the play is better for Mikkel, but also awkward against discard decks because it means that you have fewer cards to play with.
I mean, you could. So yes. So I mean, in theory, Wizards could print a card that was like enchant permanent. If enchanted permanent is a creature, give it +2/+2 or whatever.
Yes,
That's technically printable. That's
That-
like a future sight card or something.
that is printable, but Mikkel's actually going down to 5.
That's really bad for Mikkel.
So Sal just needs to 1-for-1 his way into Mikkel having no cards and top deck a Liliana or something.
Yeah. Let's keep it on 6, right? He didn't.
Yeah, it looks like he's
Yeah.
keeping on 6. So he probably has like turn 1 discard into removal spells or something.
Some kind of dumb black-green X deck.
The discard spells are a
Strategy.
little bit scarier on the draw because if Mikkel does have a turn 1 Glistener Elf or Noble Hierarch, you could be a little bit tempted to kill that instead.
Yeah.
But it's still going to be good here, especially on Mickle's
It's
Mobile
like
5.
Mickle has a Dryad Arbor in his hand, which is not where you want to see it.
Nope, that is a Verdant Catacombs.
There is that totally not a Blossoming Defense Verdant Catacombs.
Swamp.
There's Sal's Swamp. There's a Bauble. I think Bauble, the extra information is kind of nice against the Infect
I think
deck,
the
at
extra
least.
information is fine, but no discard spell, so Sal probably representing a Fatal Push here. And a turn fetch,
Yeah.
the extra information ends up being irrelevant because Mickle was going to fetch
Do it,
anyways.
Yep. All right. Well, then he probably should have looked at his own deck. Because he's not going to fetch.
I think
Actually,
in
you
that
prob-
spot
no,
you probably should have just.
Well, I guess he already knew what it was because he scried. Unless he scried at the bottom. I didn't tell.
I didn't see what he scribed, but even if
Yeah.
you were doing that, like I would have probably waited on the Bobble. There's just no reason to pop it off there. You can always pop it off in your opponent's upkeep. It doesn't make a huge difference here. Because I don't think if you have a turn 1 play, it's already in your hand.
Yeah, it doesn't change. Doesn't change when you draw the card. So
If you didn't have a turn 1 play, then I think you made a mistake.
what the hell is that land on the left?
Temple Garden.
That is. Come on, guys. Come on.
It doesn't look like the Expedition Breeding Pool.
Yeah, because I know that's a Misty Rainforest that you just cracked, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one's a Misty.
Okay. Man, this is bad. He's got Storm Forest. Maybe that is the breeding pool.
Could be the Breeding Pool. I don't know.
I don't think you. I don't even know if he has white in this deck. He might not.
does.
I know some of them do. That is totally the
That
breeding
is the
pool.
Breeding Pool.
Man, that's not. That just doesn't look like anything. Especially not on like.
Turn 2 Glistener
How do I
Elf.
point? Wait, yeah, this way. That doesn't look like
And
anything.
Spell Pierce. And I do like the Spell Pierce here. I don't think your Spell Pierce got significantly better, and you just have to use the cards that you do have. If Sal has another removal spell, he has another removal spell.
Yeah, I mean the Spell Pierce is just another copy. Oh well,
he did draw the
goodbye.
driver.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
Goodbye,
Spellskite's
Spellskite.
unfortunate loss.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one to get out of there. I think with the Aussies. Obviously, you'd want to hit a pump spell, but Mickle doesn't have any, so
And Sal's going traversing
Whatever.
for another basic. Probably basic Swamp. Yeah.
yep, want double black in case he isn't set up, which I guess he's not because this is
Might have Old Crosa in for 5 Infect.
all right. Well, we're getting there. Sal needs something.
Play the land so you can beat a Liliana of the Veil if he has it. You definitely not beating Liliana the Last Hope if he has it. So
Yeah, get that sickly green. In fact, although players do have that nice die out there and aren't
all
keeping
right.
track
Is it a
for
Last
us.
Hope? It is a Fulminator,
Mage.
That's beatable.
That's very beatable.
I
You
don't mind passing. I do not like
Yeah,
activating Fulminator Mage. Unless he has a Liliana Veil in his hand, in which case I still don't like activating it now, because you don't know if your Liliana Veil is going to resolve.
yeah. Okay, looks like Lingering Souls. Okay.
Distortion Strike is a potential concern right now for Sal.
Yeah, Distortion Strike.
Land
Okay,
go.
plays land. All right, so I'm gonna take another look.
What is it? If it was Spell Pierce, I would have fired it off. It's another land.
Oof.
Not great. In for 2, so flashing back
No,
Lingering
no
Souls is-
fear. Oh, just playing another one. All right, well, Mickle, you're gonna have to work through 8 spirits. That's
Distortion Strike is still probably good enough here.
well, he needs Distortion Strike and another pump spell that's good enough.
Yeah, over 2 draws, though, because
Yeah.
Distortion Strike will flash back, or will rebound.
Yeah, I guess so.
But then he needs to fade a removal spell from Sal.
Yeah, he. I mean, if one of those pump spells is a hexproof one, that makes it a little easier potentially. But
Nah, because Sal would just fire off the removal spell in response, because he needs everything right now.
like, yeah, because I guess you just go for it. I mean,
Yeah,
if
you
Sal,
just have to go for it.
there's a way.
Penalhaven's actually a totally reasonable draw as well.
Penalhaven is good.
Blighted
Looks like
Agent's
a
also
creature.
very good.
I think he drew
think he
another Glistener Elf.
Yeah, I think so too. Noble Hierarch is also good. That's not any of those cards.
Yeah.
Might as well play the land. He knows about it. No hiding. No brainstorm in this format.
Bust out your Jace from the sideboard.
In for 4,
And
Mickle
brainstorm
down
it
to
away.
11.
Do you think anyone's ever done that in their Infect deck?
Done
That-
what?
Put a Jace the Mind Sculptor in their sideboard.
Yes, that is actually
probably a
that,
thing,
That
right?
has actually happened before.
Okay. Do you think it could happen now? We don't know. It'd have
Unlikely.
I mean, it would have to be a foil Jace the Mind Sculptor, which might decrease its odds of happening.
That force is untapped, but does not matter. Ghost Quarter for Sal.
Okay,
3 mana,
well
get it in.
now Sal's proof against a or at least mostly proof against a what's it called? In Inkmoth Nexus, yeah.
Yeah. And we're just getting in for 6.
Yep. Comes the shove. Get in with
And
the crappiest manland that actually sees play.
just take it on the face.
Yep.
Fatal Push.
Yep.
I would not have used the Fatal Push this turn.
Doesn't really matter, right?
And
That's game.
Might of Volcrosa, Misty Rainforest, last card's in Mikkel's hand. Sal takes it 2-0 over Mikkel in a pretty good matchup for Abzan. I think this matchup is better for Abzan than Jund.
Oh yeah, we saw both games that Lingering Souls is just a lot for the Infect deck to get through. Like if they don't have the Blight Agent, which Mikkel didn't have either game, which means obviously I wasn't playing against Mikkel because every single time I play against Infect, they have the Blighted Agent. Then it's really hard for them to get through all those blockers.
Yeah, and they do play extra copies of Distortion Strike just to kind of have functional copies of Blighted Agent 5 and 6 to an extent, but it's just not quite the same.
Yeah, and especially something like the first game where Mikkel never even got in for any points of Infect. You know, that makes it really hard. I'm gonna go check if we can put anyone on backup because that seemed pretty fast, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
We'll start getting this set up here. If you find a backup, tell me what the match score is so we can have everything accurate. But yeah, so that went basically like kind of how you would expect the matchup to go. Abzan had some discard, some removal. I mean, it was very unfortunate that Mikkel mulled to 5 in game 2. A better 6 or 7 could have probably got him there against the kind of hand that Sal had. Sal didn't really interact that well in that particular game. And double Lingering Souls is a real beating for Infect if they don't have a Blighted Agent to try to push through. But even if they do have a Blighted Agent, the game kind of just evolves into beating the Blighted Agent, so you start seeing a lot more targeted removal spells going that particular way. And it looks like I see Ko on the right, because I recognize those anime sleeves. On Elves,
Oh, did you get that?
I recognize those anime sleeves.
Yes. Oh, we're doing this again. All right, yeah, it's
And it looks like Sachin on the left.
Yeah, block it. Yeah, Sachin's on the left. He told me what he was playing, and I totally blanked. But I'm pretty sure he's playing Vizier Company.
And do you know what the match score is?
It's 1-1. They're going to game 3.
Did you know who's on the play?
No, I do not. We'll find out.
So I believe Ko is playing the standard green-white elves.
He's playing green-black elves.
Oh, he's playing green-black elves. Okay, so he does not have the combo kill in his deck then.
Probably. It might. I mean,
I would be shocked, but
yeah,
he could theoretically try to get there with just Azuri and double Devoted Druid, but that's asking for a lot. On the other hand, Sachin's playing kind of a more... It's a creature combo deck, right? Like, the whole point of the deck is if I assemble these 2 cards plus a way to use my mana, the game ends.
Yeah.
So it is a 3-card combo.
Are we still calling this deck Counters Company?
I mean, Vizier Company, Counters Company, Company. I mean...
Vizier...
Whatever.
That's Counters Company is such a
Devoted Company.
Yeah, devoted Druid stuff. I don't know. Yeah, okay, there's some kind of...
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure Sachin's playing some sort of Devoted Druid deck. On the other hand, Ko is not. Ko is playing Elves. And it looks like Ko got game 2. And turn 1 Birds is basically everything every Company green deck wants to see every game.
All right, hit me with that gut shot. Let's go.
Cavern naming Elf into...
Probably.
An Elf.
Shocker.
Life total's not super duper relevant in this matchup. They will be a little bit for Ko on Sachin's side.
Yeah.
As Ko will win games using Shaman of the Pack for some drains, typically in the 5 to 8 damage range. So that number is not irrelevant here. But for Sachin, he top decks the Devoted Druid, it looks like.
Yeah, it is. Oh.
And he actually has a second one in hand.
He has 2. Yeah. Does he have another land? Yeah, he does.
So has the White Swords enter and tap and a Vizier in hand as well. So he has the full combo in severe
He's redundancy. Ready to go. I don't know if he has a payoff. I didn't see. It's like a Heritage Druid.
Yeah, so for Ko, he's probably trying to look to see if he can kill this Devoted Druid. And if he cannot, he's just going to have to just hope he's not dead.
With the nice Pendelhavens.
Heritage Druid.
Yeah, I feel like both these players are just kind of trying to go past each other.
Heritage Druid.
Okay, well, we can make some mana.
3 mana floating.
Yep. That is
Elvish Archdruid?
the new Elvish Archdruid, right?
Yeah. Second Vizier drawn as well. So it looks like Sachin has redundancy in spades. Tap 2.
Okay. Let's go in. I'm going to go. Okay.
Vizier. What's the payoff? Does he have one? Untap. Generates infinite green mana. And Devoted Druid. Devoted Druid. His hand is all Devoted Druids and Viziers. None of these cards matter.
Okay, well, he has an infinite mana and a whole bunch of nonsense. Now, there are a lot of live draws in his deck.
Yes. 4 copies of Chord, 4 copies of Company are theoretical live draws, but not always, and 4 copies of Duskwatch Recruiter and any of his actual win conditions, Walking Ballista or Ronus if he's playing it.
Yeah. So that's a lot of draws. That's like 16 draws about.
You're looking at about 14 draws, so about a quarter. About a quarter of his deck, a little bit less than a quarter of his deck. All right, so we're drawing a card.
Ko needs to get this game over with.
No Gaia's Cradle in Modern.
I wish. No, that's a lie, but it would be cool.
I would play Elves all the time if that was the case.
I would not play Elves because that card is like $400 or something. But I would play it if I just magically owned Gaia's Cradles.
That is an Elvish Archer currently tapping for 5 mana.
Yeah, so Ko can also make what is essentially infinite mana, for most intents and purposes.
The issue is if he can actually convert this into a kill.
Yeah, so his opponent couldn't. Let's see if he can. You can kind of see how easily the Devoted Druid stuff slots just right into Elves. It's really just doing a lot of the same stuff.
So that's an Azuri.
Oh, that's new Azuri. Okay, well that's
2 mana floating. That is a Shaman the Pack. That's gonna be drained for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7.
Yep.
Down to 12 goes Sachin, and he is dead next turn.
Are these guys getting in there, or are they tapping for mana?
I think they get in there. I think you turn them sideways and say, this is damage.
Yep.
Yeah, he's shoving.
Yep. That's good.
So those are all 2/2s. So if he wants to block, he has to give up Devoted Druids or Viziers.
I think I would block. I think I'm okay with getting rid of like 2 Devoted Druids.
I think you just take it because
or 1 Devoted Druid.
Realistically, if you can win next turn, you win anyways. And
otherwise,
if you cannot, you die
anyway.
just because of the Azuri on the table. Didn't
looks like
see the draw.
Looks like he drew a land.
And passing back.
Oh,
Ronus is lethal.
Never mind.
That's game.
Well,
Shrug.
Whatever.
Shrug.
Yeah, you just do that. That breaks my heart.
Better lucky than good. The last card it looks like in Sachin's hand was an Overgrown Tomb.
Yeah, it was. He had a deadline. Yeah.
So he had about a 25% chance to win that game.
All right. Well, and he does it. Spectacular Faction. For anyone that doesn't know,
is that a Sadistic Sacrament?
I don't think I've ever seen that card before.
No.
No, it is not. I have no idea what this card is. It's also in Japanese. So
it's one of the kind of Mind Funeral style effects, or not Mind Funeral.
Yeah.
The look at hand, deck, graveyard, exile things.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. So I mean, it wasn't like Ko was guaranteed dead there. There was only about 14 live draws for Sachin. He just happened to hit.
Yeah, that game had more play than I thought it was. I thought Sachin had that combo rolled up. I had the combo rolled up, and I kind of just assumed that
Ko was dead.
That he had something, then the game was gonna be over, and we had our 3 turn long backup feature match, and turns out it was only our 4 turn long.
I mean, it was gonna be 4 turns either way, right? Like either Sachin wins that turn or Ko wins when he gets his turn.
Yeah.
Right, and like that was just play draw dependent, right? Like if Ko was on the play that game, Sachin was dead.
Yeah, that's. I mean, these decks are really just mostly trying to go past each other. They might bring in whatever random little bits of spot removal they have, but they don't have a lot.
I wouldn't even bother with the spot removal for Sachin. Like,
okay, well, obviously he did because he has an Abrupt Decay.
But it's just so irrelevant unless there's something like a permanent that you're trying to deal with.
Okay,
worship does not work against this version of Elves.
Yeah, because you can just get drained.
Yeah.
I mean, it might buy you enough time. Well, actually, no.
Actually, Sachin is playing the Shalai in his deck, so that's actually one more out that he had. So yeah.
Oh, that's also an infinite pump.
Yeah, it's an infinite pump for the team.
Like infinite green mana pump.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Sachin actually brought in almost all of his removal. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
And a Tokatl Honor Guard, which only shuts off
that's dudes enter. ETB doesn't trigger.
Yeah, it's a Torpor Orb Bear.
Yeah, that's
It only hits,
that only hits
one creature.
That
in the
hits
deck.
2. It hits 3.
3. I mean, it hits Elvish Visionary.
It hits
Shaman the Pack.
Visionary, Shaman the Pack, and the guy that makes another elf.
Dwind's Elite.
Dwind's Elite. Yeah.
I would not have brought in this card just for those. Like Shaman the Pack is. I would not have cut the Eternal Witnesses.
Okay, so if you're bringing in Worship, I guess you probably bring in that too, because that's the only way you lose if you have Worship on the board.
Sure. I mean,
Question mark?
like, are you expecting your opponent to keep in Rex Age post board?
Maybe.
'Cause I wouldn't.
I don't know. Maybe he doesn't even have it main board.
Because like, I mean, like, if Ko has Abrupt Decay in this deck, like, they're not coming out in this matchup.
Nope. Probably.
And like, Abrupt Decay is still going to hit your Tokal Honor Guard, doesn't matter, and then he's still going to kill you with a Shaman the Pack.
Yeah, I don't know.
And Sachin cut all the copies of Eternal Witness, it looks like, from his list, so it's not like you can buy those back.
Really? Eternal Witness. Oh, from the whole list, or from
his main deck for a sideboard.
Okay, yeah.
So that I don't know. Like, the issue is you're kind of just playing a dedicated combo deck, right? Like, your deck's grind plan is garbage. It just does not really win games very reliably.
Yeah, you can generate a lot of value, but it doesn't actually do anything.
Yeah. So
you got a whole bunch of crappy like cards that don't win the game. I mean, you can grind with Ronus. That's about it, though.
Yeah, it's a little bit too mana intensive.
I mean, I feel like a lot of the games were. Well, I guess so. Maybe if you're playing against something, you might not have that many mana dorks floating around if you're playing against something like a control deck or whatever.
If you're playing against like a real grind deck, like, you're definitely not. The Ronus does not matter. Also, Ronus is still pathable.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean. Yeah.
And that is kind of one of my issues with the Ronus over the Walking Ballista Kill is that, yes, you can company and cord for it, but if you have cord, you can just cord for Dustwatch Recruiter and still win the game that way.
Yeah.
And Ronus is honestly not that great of a company hit regardless. So
I think Ronus is the best draw if you just draw it and you don't have like a billion mana, though.
I don't know, man. I've definitely won games just like casting a 3/3 Blocking Ballista and just pumping mana into it over the next like returns.
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, I think Ronus is better than that, is what I'm saying. I'm not necessarily saying that's bad. I'm just saying I think it's better.
Sure.
Although Dustwatch is also honestly pretty good too.
Like, Dustwatch is like the primary way you're looking to grind, and just accompanying into Eternal Witnesses. It's just your boards are so weak, and your 2-drop slot is super weak, that you're just not winning games that way very often.
Yeah, no,
Sachin is running the Infinite Life combo in his deck. I believe he has a copy of Viscerous here.
I mean, if you have black in there, you're running that, right?
Yeah, and yeah. I've never been a fan of that particular version of the deck. I find that the Infinite Mana combo is kind of irrelevant, or Infinite Life combo is kind of irrelevant, because you're kind of playing some other cards that are not particularly strong in the current modern metagame. Kitchen Finks is not at its best right now.
Yeah.
And Viscerous here has literally never been a good creature.
That's a lie. It's good in the Vengevine deck, sort of.
Sort of is the way I would describe it. I mean, it's not that the creature is objectively bad. It's only played, though, because it has a free sacrifice effect.
It's not like you're playing it because it's a 1/1.
And Carrion Feeder is not modern legal.
What's that shit even do?
It's a 1/1 that can sack a creature to get +1/+1.
Oh. I guess it's...
And it's not modern legal. I mean, it can't block, but who cares? It's from Scourge.
Oh, yeah.
It's quite good. Very good card.
That's actually really good, yeah.
Yeah, it's not modern legal. So, like,
yeah.
You're kind of, like, at a loss for good free sacrifice effects in modern. And, like, it's not that the Infinite Scry isn't irrelevant if you have it. It lets you cut to a win for the following turn. It's just, if you have an Infinite Scry, you've already gained infinite life, so you've already won the game in a lot of matchups.
Yeah.
Who's Blue Sandals?
I think he's talking about... Oh, at the... There we go. At the top of the screen. Oh, there was one, like, up there.
Sure.
I don't know. Somebody's...
All right. Well, that's going to be it for round 2. So we'll be back with round 3 shortly. We're going to take a quick break.
Yep.
Because I want to get something to drink and I'm thirsty.
I got some Cactus Cooler. back with round 3. We had to observe another grueling control blue-white nonsense mirror go to time, so that's why that took a little while.
I have no idea who's on stream.
It is William and... Not you, William, but a different William, and... What did I just fucking say? Holy shit. Do I have to go check? Hold on. Let's see if he's on this list. I'll double check real fast. I can't believe I forgot that. I'm losing my mind.
But yeah, Lowry, I believe, is on the right, and he plays Burn. He's a Burn player. It's what he do.
It's Colin.
It's Colin?
Yeah.
Colin, I don't actually know what he's playing right now.
Yeah, he's been on a few different things.
I literally can never remember if his name is with 1 L or 2 L's.
I think it's with 2.
I think it's with 2. I see. We have some notes. I feel like this is really old notes.
Yeah, I think this is from sometime earlier.
Yeah, because
but
the Kingslayer PPTQ definitely happened.
Yeah, but most of like the people on here were in here, so
yeah,
I used it. Yeah, Colin. Oh, he looks like he's also on Burn. Oh, this is exciting.
Oh no. Exciting. Well, at least it'll be fast. I don't know about exciting.
I've never watched the Burn mirror like actually happening, so this is cool. I dig it. All right, so Colin going to 17, grabbing a Sacred Foundry, and I think one of the big things is going to be whether or not he has a creature here. It's like Goblin Guide. Yep.
All right.
Alrighty.
Turn 1 creature. That's definitely where you want to be.
Yeah, that's absolutely where you want to be.
All right,
Top part
land.
of the deck.
Skullcrack.
Skullcrack. Oh wow, what I'm playing against.
That one's less exciting here for absolute.
Yeah,
certain.
Skullcrack is probably the worst burn spell in the deck, especially in this matchup. At least, well, I guess you could hit a Lightning Helix with it. Actually, might not be that bad. William has a creature of his own. A little less impressive on the first turn, but it could be a little better later. All right, Colin has lands 2 and 3 rolled up, at the very least. Actually, might be a little land heavy. But playing all your stuff is really important in this matchup. You cannot take it with you. Get off your damn phone.
Yeah. But this is just 1 back, so it's not like a significant amount of damage coming back. And the Goblin Guide does represent a little bit more here relative to the Swiss Spear. Although actually flipping lands in this matchup is pretty poor. Both decks tend to be a little bit land light, and they'll actually be able to use the mana pretty effectively.
Yeah. William is winning the game. You can't tell, though, because he does have Onslaught.
Ooh, Searing Blaze.
Ooh, that's rough. All right. Well,
bad.
I lied. Okay, not even Onslaught. Wooded Foothills can save you there. That is.
Draws the land.
Oh, draws that. Okay.
But down to 13, that was a pretty good draw for Colin. Gives him a free swing in, which he technically already had, and a free 2 damage. Eidolon, not the card you're looking to play at this moment when you're behind on life. So Searing Blaze of his own, but Lowry's looks significantly worse than Colin's.
It's still good. I mean, it stems the bleeding here. It looks like he's not going to go for it, though. He's going to go for a Swift Spear, and maybe he's going to go for another... He's going to bolt... Ooh. All right, yeah. I couldn't tell if that was 4 in black border or beat down box or whatever, but William's winning in the deck visual department at the very least.
Yeah, and the bolt is good, but it's definitely less impressive than the Searing Blaze would have been if had his Swift Spear not died.
Yeah, I mean that's so much of this matchup is play draw. So it looks like Colin has a Lightning Helix, at least one, which is definitely.
If he has a Swift Spear, I definitely
place.
just like getting in for 5 points here. Swift
Yeah.
Spear, Helix face.
Yeah, I'll probably go get a mountain. You can't really afford to shock anymore, I think, in this. Did you get it? Oh my god, you did. All right, good job.
I don't know. I don't. No, it doesn't count if you tie.
Oh, you killed yourself? Oh,
Yeah.
rip. Anyway.
Oh, rip.
Alright, Will's playing fucking Hearthstone, in case anyone needed to know.
Yeah, we're doing puzzles.
Really good professional streamer. That's the real reason he was not on camera.
I don't like Lightning Helixing the
Okay.
creature in this spot. I like getting the damage upstairs. It does put Cullen up to 17 and Lowry down to 10. But if Lowry's at 7, it makes her Boros Charms a lot scarier.
Yeah, I think knowing what we know, I like Lava Helix or Lightning Helixing the Swift Spear though. I don't know. I kind of feel like you just kind of have to get the creatures off the board when you can in this matchup.
I think that's true if you don't have burn spells in your hand.
All right, well, there's a lot of Swift Spears getting played this game.
This is an attack for 1. That's
okay.
Apparently it.
I guess that's it.
So this Swift Spear significantly less good.
Yeah.
Lowry with Boros Charm in hand draws another land.
It looks like he has 2 or 3 Skull Cracks and a Boros Charm.
Yes. He has 10 points of burn, but cracking those fetches is pretty scary in this particular spot.
Yeah, and Colin has Skullcrack, Eidolon the Great Riffle, and Mystery Card, maybe a land.
He definitely has a Stomping Ground in his hand.
Okay.
And playing the Stomping Ground is pretty scary.
I mean, I think
down to 8.
I mean, you play it.
I mean, you play it tapped.
Oh, right, Stomping Ground. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So Lowry's going to fetch down to 6 with the Eidolon on the stack.
Okay, yeah, on the stack, Colin's going to get hit for probably 7 points of burn here, I think.
Yeah, it's going to be 7.
Yeah. Which if that was true and he does have 3 Skull Cracks, this game's over. Right? Yeah.
No. It's a 7 this turn, so it's 10. Oh,
yeah.
He needs to have 2 more Skull Cracks, yes.
Yeah, because I believe
he only had 2 Skull Cracks.
I think he has 3.
Oh, he does have 3.
Yeah, he does have 3. Yeah, so Boros Charm, Skullcrack, untap, Skullcrack.
So if Colin has a Skullcrack in his hand, he's going to get a little bit bit for not Skullcracking on his turn, because that would have actually locked Lowry out from being able to play a spell.
Yes.
Because there would have been 4 more points of damage. Lowry would have been at 2, and that would have been lethal. So I think if that's the case, I think Colin may have punted this game.
Well, so yeah.
Yeah, so Colin did in fact punt this game, unfortunately. Lowry just needs to fire off double Skullcrack, and that's going to be game. I believe that's 2 Skullcracks. It looks like 2 Skullcracks.
Yeah.
That's Skullcrack. Trigger, down to 4. And that's definitely Skullcrack.
Yeah, resolves. Like there's absolutely nothing that Will should be worried about, because now
Colin
can't even die to Bolt, because Colin would kill himself first.
Yeah, you just let the full spell resolve.
Yeah.
Yep, and that's a Skullcrack.
Yep.
Colin's dead. So, unfortunately for Colin, not shocking and not getting the Skullcrack in before playing the Eidolon did cost him this game. It would have gotten the extra 4 points of damage. Lowry would have been at 2, and he would have been unable to cast a spell. That is kind of a weird line to see, and it does leave you vulnerable to Boros Charm double bolt, because you shock yourself down to 10. But I don't think that's really something you're going to put Lowry on in that spot.
That's asking a lot, especially after you've already seen 1 lightning bolt.
Yeah, I feel like that's a little bit too safe in that particular spot. But yeah, Colin definitely had an opportunity to be able to force Lowry in a spot where he could not win the game anymore.
Yeah.
Especially given that he was planning on playing the Eidolon post combat. I think he probably should have thought about, if I do the Skullcrack, what life total does Lowry go to?
Yeah.
And it would have counted down to 2. And then the Eidolon means that Lowry needs to have exactly Boros Charm double bolt for lethal.
Yeah.
And it has to be exactly bolt, because that's the only instant speed 3 damage in the deck for 1 mana.
That's not true.
I don't believe he is playing Shard Volley.
Well, then he's wrong. But we did just see him play 3 Skullcracks, and it totally worked. So I don't know. Whatever. I'd probably not playing Shard Volley, though, if he's on at least 3 Skullcracks.
Yeah. I believe he's on the full set of Skullcracks. I would be shocked if his deck wasn't just like quad lasered up.
You can quad laser up.
Like I'm pretty sure
not Skullcrack.
I'm pretty sure it's this quad laser burn. I would not want to quad laser on Shard Volleys.
All right, well, it's all right to be wrong. Gotta rip my boy Alex.
Because then you kind of have to like almost play. You can't even play 20 sources of mana in Modern, because you actually need colors.
I think Alex is on 19 lands and 4 Shard Volleys.
The issue is the colors. The colors are really awkward. Because like you can't just like play 12 fetches and 8 lands.
I think it's on 10 fetches. I think.
Well, you're playing 4 inspiring advantages, right? So, like, are you playing 10
Yeah, I think
fetches and
so.
5 fetchables?
I think so. I think that's what he's on. I don't know. Might be up or down one.
I mean,
He might be only on 3 advantage. I don't know.
this is also a matchup where the fewer fetches you're playing, the better off you're going to be.
Well, yeah. I mean, in this matchup, you want to be on like all mountains, basic planes. Like you want to take
Like, yeah, you want the basic
yeah.
planes.
You want to take as the lowest amount of damage as possible. You want every turn to start off with just double inspiring advantage and then only draw mountains.
Yeah.
Like that's just never gonna happen. Like you want to help your opponent as the least amount as possible. So now we're gonna see who brought like dragon claws and like
core
core
firewalkers.
firewalkers and other nonsense.
Cards that burn has a very difficult time beating.
Yeah,
Even
and,
like a burnt and force tender or something.
yeah,
Or as I have once suggested to Ami, because I am a terrible human being, Circle of Protection red.
man. If you bring cop red in your burn deck,
Against another red
that's
deck.
fucked up. That's messed up. All right, so Colin gonna be on the play here.
I mean, he was on the play game 1.
Yeah,
I feel like it was more or less his game to lose. You know, and part of that is hindsight, right? Like we did just count it up after the fact.
Yeah.
But I feel like if you're planning on playing Eidolon, you kind of have to accept in that spot, right? Like if you're playing the Eidolon and you have the Skullcrack in your hand, it's going to cost you 2 points of damage to cast the Skullcrack anyways.
yeah.
So you might as well just shock, get the 2 points of damage, but then deal 3 to your opponent's face for it.
Yeah.
Right? And that's kind of the thing that he walked himself into in that spot.
Looks like both players looking at 1-land hands right now. Although I think Collins is better.
I see a lot of 2-mana spells in Lowry's hand.
Will has
3 helixes.
3 helixes, an Eidolon, a lightning bolt, and a Goblin Guide in the land.
So he's keeping. So he's hoping that he draws land.
Wow.
And he draws land.
Well, all right. Then this.
So
then
his hand is probably close to unbeatable for Colin.
Yeah, this is. Okay, he didn't have a guide. Never mind.
He might have, but he might not want to throw it into the.
I probably would just thrown it in
bolt.
there.
But then it's
I
just
don't
like
know.
a shock. That doesn't sound very effective.
Fine.
But he might have not actually had a 1-drop.
It's a shock that gained you 3 life.
Swiss Spear off the top.
Swiss Spear.
He definitely has
Still
a second
hasn't
land.
fetched yet.
Might be looking trying to hit a 3rd land, which is why he wouldn't have fetched.
Yeah, I guess so.
Like you're willing to accept 2 damage here just to try to get a 3rd land for the spot. I'm definitely only shocking once, but we'll see if Lowry agrees. Double fetch.
Double shock would be a shocker. I gotta say, his basic mountains need to come up to par with the rest of the deck, I think.
Well, I mean, we actually don't know what kind of mountain. I'm pretty sure they're FEBs. I don't think he has money for betas.
I don't care. Or beatdown box.
Beatdown box.
Yeah, apparently that's also Black Border.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, that was my reaction. Yeah, apparently the Black Border. I don't know.
Yep,
that might be totally wrong.
In for 1. Didn't see a bolt, so in for 0.
Yeah, okay. So Colin really needs another land, or he's kind of hosed. Okay, he's kind of hosed.
I like playing out the. Well, I actually just like passing, right? Like, if your opponent's passing back with mana up, it's either they're flooded or, sorry, not flooded. They got nothing, or they're playing a bolt. In this spot, I think you have to put Colin on having a bolt and just holding up the helix. I think that's a little bit more effective, anyways. But Colin is just going to shock himself to kill the Eidolon. Draws another land, so he'll shock himself again. So this game actually might still be on.
I think we have a game now. Although
Lowry's on Lightning Helix, Lightning Helix, Lightning Helix.
Lowry can just do that every turn for the rest of the game.
Lava Spike, Skullcrack.
That's gonna be really hard for Colin to beat.
Lowry would have liked to draw probably another land over the Lava Spike this turn.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's fine to see the Lava Spike, but he wants to, like, if you're gonna draw one spell, I think that's fine.
Boros Charm upstairs. Lowry likely to Lightning Helix.
Yeah, might as well Lightning Helix when you know it's not gonna get Skullcrack.
Yeah, might as well. And he is just going to take 1. Colin's going to take 3. 13.
Yep, which
to
that's
15.
an exchange that favors William. Couldn't tell.
I must have missed some damage.
So Colin's at 10. Did you get the damage you took from the Eidolon?
I did. I must have just missed a bolt upstairs. Oh yeah, the rift bolt upstairs.
Oh, that rift.
I missed the rift bolt upstairs.
No, I thought he rift bolted.
Lowry also suspended rift bolt.
Oh, I
Skullcrack
totally missed
on
that.
The Lightning Helix for Colin. So Lowry's going to.
Did he?
Am I missing like so many points of light total here? I see 7 to 12 at the moment, but
I'm losing track. These dice need to come down like an inch.
So that's 6 to Colin. He needs another lightning helix or double lava spike is going to be lethal here.
Yeah.
Lava spike, bolt, rift bolt. I must have missed the light totals because I guess that's enough.
Yeah, I guess he was at 9. That's game. Wow.
I must have missed the bolt for Lowry. Going at Lowry. Did I miss a rift bolt going at Lowry's face?
Probably the first one.
I don't think I did. I think I hit that one.
I don't know. We'll watch the footage, I guess. I don't know. That was oof. Colin got in right when he needed to because
yeah, he was going to die.
Yeah,
if Lowry can untap, and if Lowry draws a land, it actually wouldn't have even mattered if Colin necessarily drew a lightning helix in that spot because Lowry would have put himself out of triple bolt range.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, it's crazy that like you're a burn player and you get like the triple lightning helix hand against another burn player and you lose that game.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely came down to just like the fact that Lowry couldn't deploy the lightning helixes as fast as he would have liked.
Yeah,
I think there was a turn, like the turn that he played the Eidolon. I think if you pass the lightning helix up, you're probably fine.
Yeah, so I feel like if he,
because I feel like Colin is priced into still bolting your face there, and if he has to bolt your face, at that point you got to feel comfortable playing the Eidolon.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know about playing the Eidolon on the turn that he did.
Put mono black on. Maybe after this game.
I'm actually not sure who's on our backup. Yep. Burn Mirror, such excite.
It's whatever Jonas is playing. I don't know, versus somebody. I don't remember.
I think Jonas is on Casey or something.
Let's go.
That's a lot of lands. That's a lot of lands. That's a mulligan.
Oh.
I see like 2 lands on Colin's side.
I saw an Eidolon, a Goblin Guide.
I think Colin's hand's a little bit creature heavy.
Ships it.
Might have been only 1 land then.
Did not get a good look. Dude, I think the Burn Mirror is exciting. It's awesome.
I don't know if I agree.
I think it's I think it's a mirror match where like sequencing and like stuff like that and like bluffing and also just like
I don't know how much bluffing
like
is
sandbagging like matters more than like I think most other matches.
I don't think bluffing is actually relevant in the Burn Mirror.
Okay, sure, but the other things.
Sequencing, like the deck is an entirely sequencing deck, right? Like none of the spells are significantly different from one another in the sense that like what they're trying to do to your opponent's face is different. So it's just a matter of making sure you're deploying them in a maximum damage way, right?
Yeah.
Like all of your spells basically say deal 3 or deal 4 in some capacity, right? So it's about making sure you're sequencing them in a way that makes sense and gets you the maximum damage output, right? So like Lowry lost game 2 because I could be overselling it, because he didn't deploy all of his lightning helixes because he wanted to get a turn to get the Eidolon down when your opponent could only cast 1 spell a turn.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the root reason, but I believe that hurt him a lot, or that potentially could have rented it. Colin takes a scry. It looks
Lowry's
like
hand looks really land light and also full of 2 drops, but 2 of them are definitely Boros Charm.
You kind of just have to take it at this point. Going to 5 is really hard.
And his first land's a Stomping Ground.
Stomping Ground tapped.
Yeah, his hand is
not where you want to be.
If he doesn't find a white source, his hand is garbage.
Well, Colin also does not have so no creature 1-drops.
Well, no land for Lowry and a bunch of uncastable spells in Lowry's hand with the 2 Boros Charms and the Lightning Helix turned off.
If his land is like a mountain, he doesn't really even do anything else after that.
It actually does have to be a white source for him to really go off.
He has Eidolon.
He has Eidolon and Skullcrack. And
if he doesn't draw a white source.
That's the rest of the castable spells in Lowry's hand.
Now, to be fair, almost everything in this deck is a white source. I think he probably is only on like a handful of basic mountains.
It's like 3 mountains.
Yeah, like 2 to 3 mountains probably.
And the Stomping Ground that's in play. So
yeah.
But there's also only like 16 or 17 lands left in the deck, so...
Yeah. Okay, Lightning Bolt upstairs, end of your turn.
So that does put Colin a little bit ahead on the raise. 16 is basically the same as 17 in this matchup. Second land. 15 is very different than 16, though. Yeah. Draw, and it's a bolt, so Lowry's going to be falling behind pretty quickly here.
It's playable. Let's see what Colin does.
If he has a Helix, I like Fetch Shocking here. But it looks like he does not, and draws another land.
Didn't fetch at all.
Another Bloodstained Mire.
Saying go.
No bolt from Lowry.
Little surprised to see that.
Draws the basic mountain.
What a wow. Though I guess that sucks to suck.
But his hand has come a little bit together. A lot of the spells that he's drawn since the opener have been the mono red spells. Burn, surprisingly weak to Blood Moon.
Yeah, it's true. You play at least 8 things that cost not red mana in the main deck.
And those are your better spells for the most part.
Yeah, Lightning Helix in a lot of matchups is pretty anemic. In this matchup, it's extremely good. It is probably
in a lot of
matchups
matchups where like they're bringing in Blood Moon, Lightning Helix is also usually pretty significant.
Yeah, I'd imagine stuff. I mean, you're playing against other red decks, so probably.
Yeah, like even Storm, if they brought in Blood Moon, is because then you don't have that's your only other way to kill creatures.
Yeah, I mean, even as just like turning off, a spell. Yeah.
Yep. So Colin has done a full extra bolt worth of damage to himself. I believe he just drew Inspiring Vantage.
That's awkward.
Oh, we're gonna see a creature deployed this turn, or maybe not.
Is Will on the left? I actually don't know. I don't think so, because I think Colin doesn't have nice lands.
I could have the names mixed up.
I could be totally wrong.
Oh no, it's probably right. You're probably right. I probably did have the sides mixed up.
Did you mess this up?
I might have. I can't actually tell faces because there aren't faces on screen.
Yeah, no, I think you're right. I think Colin's on the right.
Colin finally. If that's the case, then whoever's on the right finally. I think you're right. I think that is Colin on the right.
Yeah, okay, because Colin's pretty white, and Colin, I guess
they're both white as hell.
Slightly less white. I don't know. It's hard to tell how what people look like just by looking at their arms.
We'll just swap it, and if we're wrong, we can say we were right at the beginning, and if we were right,
Okay, we either corrected our mistake or we were always right. There's no downside. I mean, I could like pop out there and check.
Yeah, if that is the case, finally drawing the white source is probably a big game for Colin. I think that
we should just call them player on the right, player on the left.
Whoever's who.
Yeah.
Monastery Swiftspear.
The first creature cast this game on turn.
Searing Blaze is in Colin's hand. That's how Colin places his deck.
Oh.
It would also explain why the deck on the right is significantly more pimp than the deck on the left.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. Well,
because Colin does pimp.
He pimped in a pretty good way then. Everything I said about William just redirected at Colin and vice versa.
So I like firing off these. I believe Colin has a Searing Blaze in his hand. I like firing this off on the end step, even if Lowry tries to fire off some spells to save his Swiftspear. That's still 3 damage upstairs. And then you untap. If you draw a land, that's going to be game with the Boros Charm Helix.
Yeah.
And if you miss, you're still fine.
William's going to... Oh.
Doesn't look like he actually has a Searing Blaze. I might have missed the life total change because it looks like Colin's. Oh yeah, because Colin just fetched down to 12. Lavamancer, not great. I think that's just giving Lowry a free Searing Blaze target, so I probably would have not deployed that out. But Path's Exile.
That's not. Why is that in the deck?
Oh,
well, all right, cool.
Lowry now needs to win this turn.
Now the Lavamancer is pretty good because it turned into a land.
Lowry actually needs to win the game this turn.
It was a secret ramp spell.
If Lowry doesn't win the game this turn, I think Colin just untaps and kills him.
Well, 4 mana open with an untapped Swiftspear and just drew a Goblin Guide. That's a reasonable recipe.
His hand also has Inspiring Vantage and a Searing Blaze.
Looks like Searing Blaze, Skullcrack, land, Goblin Guide.
So that's maximum 7 damage this turn.
Yeah, so
plus 1 to his own face.
Yes, I think you just crack him and get in there.
Oh, that is loud.
That is really loud. Holy crap! Don't do that. Don't give us money. Also, thank you. Thank you for that. That's like a penny, right? Or approximately a penny.
Something like that. Attack for 3. Incredible. Reveal on top. It's a Rift Bolt.
That's kind of garbage.
This is just for 3. You're gonna take it. That doesn't kill you.
That is
passing of the turn back. You have to fire off some burn spells here.
I don't know what he's doing if he's not firing off.
If you untap, you kill him, right? Like Boros Charm.
Yeah, I would go with the Helix. Yeah.
Sure, Helix you.
This actually will get Skullcracked. Funnily enough,
but if it's Skullcrack, you win, right? Because there's now nothing that can stop you from killing him on the next turn.
Mm-hmm.
So 6 to 7.
Yeah.
So Boros Charm Skullcrack is lethal.
Yep. All right, that's good.
All right, can Colin count?
Hope so.
Boros Charm
4.
Okay.
3.
Skullcrack 3.
That's game. All right. Colin probably. We think it's Colin. It could be William. Who fucking knows? Takes the 2-1 over that other guy that I just said in the Burn Mirror.
If you cited in Path to Exile, that was a mistake.
Yeah, don't do that. Path to Exile it's not like every other deck where you're like, I want some removal. Path to Exile really only comes in when you're playing Burn.
He did have the core. So he might have brought it in expecting core Fire Dancers, but at the same time, Firewalkers. But at the same time, that seems questionable.
I think you just take the L on that one.
Yeah, I think because there's only like maximum 2 or 3 copies, right? Like the problem with the paths is that if you ramp your opponent in this matchup, like you're just giving them the opportunity to play more burn spells.
Well, and it's also it only does that, right? It's like if you have a lightning bolt, you can kill your guy or you can kill your opponent's face. Yep. Like I don't know. Anyway, I'm gonna go. That was pretty fast. Burn Mirror, for fuck's sake. I'm gonna go check on some other feature matches potentially. See if we have a backup.
Yeah, I think you said. Well, I know Jonas is apparently on our backup, and I believe he's on KCI, so he's probably still trying to win the game right now. Slowly. Yeah, they're already shifting over. The player on the right one, at the moment, we think it's Colin. But they're both very white, and it's very hard to tell who they are from just their arms. But the player on the right had a nicer deck, so I'm inclined to believe that Colin is the player on the right. Because Colin is more willing to spend money on things that look like Black Border beta bolts, but they're not likely beta bolts. I think they're probably FBVs. Yep. Hi, Kyle.
So it's Jonas on the
right. Jonas is definitely on the right.
Jonas on the right and Adam on the left.
Adam Fiffles.
And this is apparently the KCI mirror match.
Yeah, it's definitely the KCI mirror match. And do you know what game it is?
I assume it's game 3.
I
didn't actually check.
I don't know.
Hello, people in chat. I don't know anybody's names.
Hi, Justin. How you doing?
Which one's Justin?
Jay Porchos, because his name is Justin Porchos.
Right. Hi, Justin. Dude, I don't read screen names like that. Who the hell uses their actual name as a screen name?
What's up?
Looking at you, motherfucker.
Yeah. Oh. And K Debo is Kyle DeBartoleben.
What's wrong with you people? Go be like where's Johnny? Yeah, Brutal Wolf 13. Get a fucking screen name like that. Come on. Also, what's up?
So Jonas is on the play this game, so he lost at least one and starts with the star and strike back with the exact same opening of Buried Ruin Chromatic Star, but his Chromatic Star is foil.
So he's losing because it's foil, right?
And crack star, draw a star and play a star. See a sphere in Adam's hand. I don't know if I see another land. Yeah, they do stream, so using your own name for streaming makes sense.
Get a cool username like something, I don't know, whatever.
So, if this is in fact a true mirror, which it is,
yeah, I'd be shocked if it was somehow not.
So play draw is a significant factor in determining who wins these matchups, and I believe that Adam is probably the better player, and he's actually holding up a negate.
What the hell? Also, what's that land on the bottom? Like, what's that?
Buried Ruin. Pay 2,
Buried
tap,
Ruin?
sack, add an artifact from your graveyard to your hand.
Oh, legit. Is that new or is that old?
That's from like 12th edition.
Okay. I'm surprised I guess it's because Academy Ruins is usually played instead.
Yes, but in this case, it's significantly better.
You definitely, yeah.
Because one, producing blue mana is kind of a pain, but more importantly, it puts it directly into your hand for the turn you're comboing off.
Yeah. No, I understand why it'd be like that in this. All right, settle down.
So Adam's going to get pretty punished for not doing anything this turn, and I get why he didn't play a spell on his turn to hold up the negate.
I mean, because if KCI comes down, it's bad news.
Well, the thing is, with the Mind Stone, Jonas had access to 4 mana.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's a...
I can't tell what that is.
I believe that's a Mind Stone. A promo Mind Stone.
Your guess is as good as mine.
So if there's a follow-up land here, then Adam can still hold up negate for the KCI.
Yep. Looks like it.
Yeah, it looks like it's a Mind Stone. So if he's able to buy himself this turn, looks like a second KCI was drawn for Jonas.
So you think he didn't pull a trigger last turn because he was worried about something?
No, he didn't pull the trigger last turn because he didn't have the KCI in his hand last turn.
Oh, why'd you say he drew a second one then?
He did draw a second one because he chromatic started.
Oh, sorry, I'm Yeah, I'm fucking up.
This deck draws more than one card a turn usually.
Yeah. I don't know. You know,
I believe he's borrowing Don's deck.
this would be a Dawn deck. This is like 200% a Dawn deck. All right, cast KCI.
Crack, draw a card.
Crack, filter to blue. Negate.
So that's going to basically end
No, he
Jonas'
built
turn
it.
this turn. Oh, he actually built it?
All right, legit. Good on him.
I didn't realize he had money from Mox Opals.
I didn't realize he had money for not blue-red prowess things.
So this is Adam's...
Why isn't he playing Wizards?
Wizards is bad. So this is opportunity for...
Is Thing in the Ice good? Is Thing in the Ice not bad?
The Ice is bad.
I assume Hub is standard.
Hub is fine. Like, Grove is more common, plus Forest. You're maxed on Buried Ruins. You have at least 1 or 2 Inventor's Fair, usually 2 copies, I believe. And you're maxed on Darksteel Citadel. So that's a 4, 6, or 4, 8, 10. You're kind of just trying to play like 8 more lands. So Hub makes sense. If you're playing blue-green, you're also likely playing copies of... yeah. If you're playing blue-green, you're also playing Botanical Sanctum. But Adam managed to find the KCI, has the Mox Opal and a Darksteel Citadel in play, and he also has Scrap Trawler plus 1 drop in hand, so he is probably going to go for it this turn. Unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit sketch, but Engineered Explosives is going to help a ton here.
Yeah.
Or Nature's Claim coming out from Jonas.
In response to the EE.
Which makes sense.
Yep.
I believe you're... Yeah, you kind of just have to let it go. Buried Rune is in play. And he sacked the KCI to itself to play the Buried Rune.
Okay, I was actually about to ask
to activate the Buried
if you
Rune.
can sack KCI to itself.
Yeah, it is sacrifice and artifact. But Jonas has another KCI in his hand, so we'll see if Jonas can go off this turn. He's going to try to leave his Buried Rune untapped if possible. And the second, Darksteel Citadel is going to help a ton as well for helping him go off. He also gets to leave the Mind Stone untapped, so that's another opportunity to draw a card. So KCI, sack your Darksteel Citadels, draw a card off Mind Stone is probably where Jonas is going to start, unless he has a Scrap Trawler as well.
Right. So, yeah,
Not a ton in his graveyard, and no Mox Opal means a lot of his infinite lines are a little bit off, but he might still be able to get there.
Yeah, I mean, you can get somewhere with it, right?
And I'm going to go ahead and pull out a stopwatch, and once the KCI hits the table, we're going to start timing Jonas's turn.
I cannot wait to be here forever.
And there's no way you don't go for it in this spot just because you know Adam is tapped out. This is your best window.
Yeah. Really, all I want out of this mirror is for both players.
I really don't like tapping the Mind Stone here if you're trying to go off this turn.
Because he doesn't need the... Yeah, I don't know.
Like, unless you have exactly Ancient Stirrings in hand, I really hate this because you need to draw cards. The problem is you only have 2 cards in your hand. I don't know what game it is.
We assume it's game 3. It might not be, but I assume it is.
All right, I'm starting the clock now. Can Jonas get there?
Obviously, if this game ends and they still play, then we know what game it is. But
Jonas's hand looks really weak. I think one of them is a forest.
It does look like one of them is like a land. Okay, okay, my Darksteel Citadel.
Mirror Retriever is not the worst here.
Yeah.
But I don't believe he doesn't have any copies of Ichor Wellspring, so it's not like he can really get very far with this. Currently 2 mana floating.
This star has got to be pretty good, I think.
Star down to 1, crack for 3 mana, 2 mana, colorless. Draws a land, it looks like. Oh no, He draws not a land. He draws the best possible here.
Well, that's pretty good.
Adam with the shrug, but we'll see how far we can go.
Big shrug.
No 0-drop available, but he does have the Buried Rune for an extra draw opportunity. So star.
That timer might be short based on that early.
Oh no, we started when the KCI hit the table.
I know, but I mean, it might not be as long as we thought it was going to because of his draw.
The issue is without the Mox Opal, you still can't go infinite.
That's true.
So, and he still needs to get a way to. Well, he has a way to get the Mirror Retriever back, but he still didn't have the Mox Opal to go infinite.
How far can he go?
So he needs to find Mox Opal. He does have Star in hand, but he also needs to leave the Star in his hand if he wants to go off.
right.
Actually, I think the last card in his hand might be a Nature's Claim. Crack, draw.
It looked like something green.
You can get back a Dark Seal Citadel.
Sure.
Mana's not really the bottleneck for Jonas here.
No, it is definitely cards in hand.
And no copies of Acre Wellspring is going to make this a little bit harder for Jonas. Looks like a Dark Seal Citadel drawn. Oh, he does have Mox Opal.
Oh,
He
all
must have
right.
drawn it. Oh, and also Negate. So his hand is actually Dark Seal Citadel and Negate at the moment.
It is. Okay, man. It's so hard to see those cards sometimes.
Sack. Activate Berry Ruin. Get back Mirror Retriever, I guess. Mirror Retriever is 2 cards. I mean, Adam is F6'd.
Oh yeah, I mean, he might as well just go like take a piss or something.
Mirror Retriever comes down. Mirror Retriever probably gets back Mind Stone and a Chromatic Star.
A second KCI.
That's fine actually, because you can KCI to get back the Mirror Retriever.
Oh sure, yeah, okay. Goes the Mox. Goes KCI. There goes KCI maybe
Soon. Unless he has another Scrap Trawler in his yard. They're not going to be able to see it.
They're not going to be able to see it, damn it. Okay, currently at 3 minutes, by the way.
I mean, Adam's going to make him do it, because like, if you can't figure out how to actually...
What's going on?
Wait, wasn't that a Berry Rune that got sacked?
Maybe Adam was just like, show me that that's in your deck.
Show me the kill.
Yeah, show me that, like... Alright. And...
That looks like it's match.
Is it match?
Because he's deboarding. They're both deboarding.
Oh, yeah. Okay, well, there it is. Jonas takes it 2-1, I guess. Yeah, okay. Yep. Yeah, I mean, I guess... I mean, Jonas with the redundant KCI was pretty good.
Did he still have the star? Oh, I guess he still had the star in hand, right?
Yeah, he did.
So if he sacks, then that's infinite. Yeah. So he was fine. Yeah, he got there. Stop. It only took 4 minutes from when the KCI hit the table, so like 7 minutes since his turn started.
That was shortened significantly from what it could have been, thanks to Adam, I guess. But yeah.
So Jonas does get there. Pretty timely draws in having the second copy of KCI drawn off the top. Saved him a lot of turns to potentially try to dig for that. And Adam got pretty punished on the turn where he had an opportunity to drop a 2-drop, but he was very afraid of the KCI coming down that turn, as he should be. It was just unfortunate for him that Jonas did not have that opportunity available to him in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, I think you still probably make that play. Like, it's... If you don't hold anything up, then it's too likely that you just die, right?
Yeah.
Like, ultimately, I don't think the game came down to him not playing anything there. It just came down to the fact that both players had one answer for one KCI, and Jonas had 2 KCIs.
Yeah. So that's going to be it for round 3. We're going to be going over to a 4th and final round in just a moment.
Some amount of time, depending on if more control mirrors happened or not.
Probably. So that's going to be it for this round. KCI versus KCI. I believe that leaves Jonas as probably one of 3 or 4 undefeated players going into round 4. So we'll probably not see him back on stream, but we might see Adam.
I don't know if I want to see him back on stream.
We might see Adam.
I think one KCI game is fine, especially if it's the mirror match. That's 2 KCI games. That's 2 whole KCI games for the price of 1.
So that's going to be it for now. We'll be back in just a bit with round 4. That's all I got.
That's it. All right, see you guys in a bit.
And we're back.
We are back.
This is the first table that we haven't seen yet. Do you know what their scores are?
I'm guessing they're both 2-1 because everyone else is probably tied already, or we've seen them already. This is the best record game that has nobody that we've seen so far.
So it's Kyle Mounts on the left
and Alex Fisher.
Alex Fisher on
my boy
the right. So it's gonna be Burn versus I think Affinity.
Yeah, I believe Affinity. I'm pretty sure I saw Kyle saving up Affinity, like before the tournament.
So matchup is kind of interesting.
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
If Affinity lands a Vault Scourge turn 1 and suits it up turn 2, you can go ahead and concede as the Burn player.
Yeah, that's a problem.
And if he doesn't, but he still has some other beefy dudes, you might still die as Burn before anything. The nut drop from Affinity is faster than Burn, but Burn is going to be a little bit more consistent at getting the turn 4 kills.
Also, Burn has a lot more interaction for this match.
Yeah.
Burn gets to kind of play a control, not Affinity. Okay.
Not Affinity?
Then I'm guessing, God, what else has he played? I forget.
Plays a lot of decks. It could be like the blue-white, like flash deck, basically the blue-white Death and Taxes deck.
Oh yeah. Oh, that deck is
not great.
That's bad. Yeah.
It's not a great deck.
You trying to tell me Slivers is worse than Humans?
Well, like blue-white now is just like Spirits.
Oh sure, I guess so.
And Spirits is
definitely
better
Spirits
than
is fine.
Slivers.
Okay, Spirits. Well, yeah, but I mean, if you're playing like the old like meddling mage, like ass Death and Taxes deck, that is pretty much just worse Humans, I think.
A lot of those decks are just worse Humans. Let's be real.
But I mean that's like much more of like a strictly worse Humans, I think. Anyway, I'll find out. Alex taking a very characteristic, extremely long shuffle.
We might be here for a while.
It might be ending. Nope, I lied. Yeah, and then I already forgot who we put him back. Who we put him back up, but we might not even.
It should be
there.
James and
James and other person.
James is on
so
Humans.
bad. Yeah, James on Humans.
Man, you picked the feature matches. You should know who they are.
I feel like I just get short-term memory as soon as I say anything. I don't know. That's why you should pick them, so I have someone to blame instead of myself.
No, you will be the blame for this. All right, I'm about to pull out a timer and count how long it takes Alex to shuffle. We'll see if it takes longer for Alex to shuffle or Jonas to finish killing someone with KCI.
I think probably the latter still, but okay. All right, we're good. We're good. Bust out some dice. See who's going first. See if we can find out what Kyle's on. I still feel like it's Affinity, but apparently it's not. Check out that watch. It's green as shit. Oh, there it goes. You heard me say something.
It's hiding.
Yeah.
We're debating the die roll now.
They might be talking to the people next to them, I feel like. I don't know.
Hand gestures.
This is riveting. Did the timer of the round start? I assume it did.
Yeah, it definitely started.
Alright, I'm pretty sure this is odd even. That was a 1. Okay, it was odd even.
Oh, it's Bridgefine.
It's
Bridgefine.
Is it Bridgefine or is it oh yeah, it is Bridgefine. I see a goblin kicker guy.
All right, so this matchup is very different. Burn is very unfavored, and Bridgefine might just kill you.
Yeah, remember that when I was talking about when you should bring in Paths to Exile? This is the time.
So,
and even then, it's
this hand is pretty bad for Mounts. He drew a lot of lands.
I'm really kind of surprised he kept this.
Greater Gargadon's okay.
There goes a bridge,
and he drew a second Faithless Looting as well.
That's a good discard from him. Let's see what Alex has.
Alex might even be interested in pointing a burn spell at his own creature at some point.
Yeah, I mean, if he needs to get rid of something, that's okay.
All right, guide. Let's see what the top card is. Oh, this is not good for Alex.
I mean, can he discard it?
Yeah, he has another Faithless Looting in hand.
Okay. I wasn't quite sure what that other card was.
you definitely start with the Faithless Looting before playing the land.
Okay, yes,
because
Faithless Gargadon.
I don't like this sequencing.
Yeah, because you could draw another one,
Is it
right?
not a Faithless Looting? Is it just a Bushwhacker?
Oh, never mind. It was a Bushwhacker. Yeah, we knew this. Okay.
I thought he drew a Faithless Looting off
No,
of this Faithless Looting.
it's
So this is an attack
it's
for 5.
Bushwhacker and Gargadon were the only red cards in his hand. He
So
has
we're-
and then he has a bunch of lands and a bridge and
18 to 15. Greater Gargadon will make a bunch of Zambies. I think I would have waited on the Bushwhacker. You can get a significant more amount of damage on the next turn, suspending the Bushwhacker. Because with the fetch land in your hand, you can go suspend Greater Gargadon, play my fetch land, trigger Bloodghast, sack my Bloodghast, get a zombie, fetch, get a Bloodghast back,
yeah. So
play my Bushwhacker, Bushwhacker trigger on the stack, sack my Bushwhacker, get another zombie, and attack for 9 on the next turn, and still get 2 for this turn.
yeah, so I'm a little surprised to see him shove that so early. I guess he just feels like he has to get something going, but I don't know.
If you can discard the bridge, then the Gargadon line is going to be pretty good here. Otherwise, Alex is basically on a straight race. He might be interested in bolting something soon, but we're going to see a card flip on top. That is
That's
a Gravecrawler. So that one's not great.
You do not get to draw that yet, I'm pretty sure.
He does not yet. And this is an attack for 3.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's going to be...
And a second main phase is a Rift Bolt
Okay.
Suspend.
Okay,
So down to 15 is Mr. Mounts. Life totals are tied, but I cannot say I'm actually a very big fan of Alex's position at the moment. Although I think Kyle could have threatened a significant more amount of pressure by this point.
If Kyle doesn't present a blocker next turn, that Swiss Spear is going to hit for a ton.
Well, if you suspend Greater Gargadon, you're almost always going to have a blocker available.
Yeah. Okay. Alex is going to read bridge real fast. Just to...
Can Greater Gargadon discard cards to do things? I think you can.
No, it's sack creatures. That's the only thing.
No, you can definitely sack artifacts and lands.
Or
Yeah,
or
so you can't
artifact
discard
challenge.
cards.
Yeah, you
but,
can't discard cards. Sorry.
Free roll this attack in. Suspend. Sack
Get the big die out.
Bloodghast. Sack, play Gravecrawler, sack Gravecrawler, play land, sack Bloodghast, get Bloodghast, sack Bloodghast, fetch, sack, get Bloodghast, leave Bloodghast, play Gravecrawler, leave Gravecrawler.
Yeah, so you can have...
So that's a 1, 2,
You can have 2 or 3 blockers.
You can have 2 zombies available and an additional 3 if he wants it.
He can... Yeah, he can...
Yeah.
Yeah.
An additional 3 if he wants it. Fetch land. Trigger. And then next turn he has an opportunity to Faithless Looting away the second bridge in his hand, and then sack the remaining creatures to get the Greater Gargadon haste. I like fetching basic Swamp here while sacking the Gravecrawler. And just get another zombie.
Yeah.
I think Kyle passed the turn back, so I think he's missing an opportunity here to put 2 more power on the board for free.
No, I think he's in the tank a little bit.
I am being a little bit quiet.
Oh yeah, we are now. Yeah, I mean, my voice is not very loud, so.
But it looks like Kyle's just passing back, so I think he's missing an opportunity to put more power on the board for very minimal cost. He's already at 15, so it's not like the 1 point of damage makes a significant difference here. And Kyle is going to drop to 12.
Super quiet. Thanks for telling us now in round 4.
Like, how
Whatever.
quiet are we talking? Because the volume should be pretty good right now.
I don't know.
Like, I can turn it up a bit, but I don't want to turn it up much more than it's currently at. It'll start clipping. So Prowess Trigger, currently 4 damage on the table for Alex. So he needs to muster together another 8. Each burn spell is 4, so 2 burn spells forces Kyle to block. Okay, I can turn it up a little bit.
Is that better?
It should be a little bit louder now,
yeah,
but
definitely.
I don't want to turn it up much more than this.
Yeah, I think that's about it.
So shove. Kyle looking at blocking. Sacks the Bloodghast to the Greater Gargadon, which can be activated at instant speed.
Yeah, the question is probably you can do that whenever you want.
Yes.
Question mark. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and the answer is yes.
And I do think Kyle's getting bit pretty hard here for not making the extra zombie on his own turn.
Yeah, there wasn't really any reason not to do that, I think.
With this particular sequence of blocks, I'm only interested in blocking the Swiss Spear. I don't think that green mana was relevant. I don't think you're drawing a copy of Vengevine that matters.
That's just what it's there for, right? It's just
to be able to cast the Vengevine.
Just to be able to cast a Vengevine. That's double green, right?
Yeah. So, and he has another green source in his hand, but I would not have. I think the extra 2/2 is worth more than being able to cast a Vengevine that you draw at the top.
Yeah.
Especially with the Faithless Looting in your graveyard. And I am not blocking the Goblin Guide because the Goblin Guide is not only less damage, but exiles the one bridge in your yard, which is the only thing you have going for yourself at the moment. So I think if Kyle loses a game, it's just because he's missequencing his effects, and he's a little bit underestimating the power of Gravecrawler, right? Like, Gravecrawler under bridge creates a zombie to recast the Gravecrawler.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the Kyle should be at 11 now, but that's... Yeah. Well, actually, if he doesn't block the guide, then he's dead to triple burn spell. So he kind of has to block the guide, right? He's... Okay, he's... yeah, okay, throw everything under it.
How many... I think Alex only has 3 cards in hand.
He does. I believe it's 2 burn spells in a land.
I know one of them is a lot.
That's a Searing Blaze.
Yeah, Searing Blaze up to 3/4. Kyle down to 8. So currently, Swiss Spear still dies.
Yeah. Which is why the double block on this. Well, I guess you're already blocking the Goblin Guide anyway. So
once you committed to double blocking the Goblin Guide, I would triple block the Swiss Spear. But I think I would have quadruple blocked the Swiss Spear and just thrown the one zombie under the bus for the Goblin Guide.
Yeah, so because now if Alex wants to, he can actually just bolt a zombie and the Swiss Spear will live.
Yeah,
and then Kyle's on no bridge, and now what do you do?
Yeah, like yes, he has one more bridge in his hand, but the fact that he's missing a zombie here literally made the difference between being able to clear the board or not.
He has one more bridge in his hand. I guess. Oh, he has the
Faithless Looting in the yard, so he can get discarded. That's not the problem. But the problem is he's going to be leaving himself with just a zombie in play against the Swiss Spear when he could have had 2 zombies and Alex on nothing.
Yeah, I think.
And this bolt can just go upstairs, and it will kill both zombies off. Yeah, and it is going upstairs. Kyle down to 5.
Oh yeah, because
Swiss Spear is now up to a 4/5 from 3 spells being cast this turn.
Right, because I forgot about the Rift Bolt at the beginning of the turn.
So again, Kyle getting super punished for just wanting to get the Overgrown Tomb into play over just playing another zombie.
Yeah,
like 1 mana bears, while not very impressive, are still better than
1 mana bears are good when they're free. You know, basically.
Yeah, Alex pointing out that
it's like, Bolt, hey, by the way, I cast this earlier. This thing's a 4/5. Yeah, which. It is. You do not need to announce that trigger anyway until it is going for attacks.
Until the power and toughness
match, yeah.
So it means when damage is being assigned, it's the first time that you actually have to formally announce that you have
as long as Alex remembers that he cast that, which he clearly did, then that's...
As long as he announces that it's a 4/5 when damage matters, you're good.
Yep.
And he does have Shard Volley left in hand, and that does kill off both zombies and another zombie blocking the Goblin Guide.
Yep, which means that Kyle is left with 1 zombie.
So he is sacking...
Yeah, he attacks the Greater Gargadon.
Which makes sense. You might as well.
Yeah, you might as well.
Sack another zombie.
Don't think you sack another zombie.
No, I think you just let the Goblin Guy die. Straight off here. You have to. You've committed way too much.
I mean, I guess if you... Yeah. If you let the... I don't know. Yeah. Okay, and one of those is dead. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and Kyle could have been in a much better spot. I think there was a couple turns where he could have sequenced it a little bit better to get more damage, and he definitely could have gotten 1 more zombie. I don't know why he is sacking all of his lands here, especially given that
the fuck?
Suspend has haste. But did I miss a life total change?
What?
Is Alex at 11?
I guess so.
Must have missed the life total change. I noticed that Alex is reaching for the Deflecting Palms. I would not bother. The only creature in this deck that's attacking for damage that you would want to Deflecting Palm is the Greater Gargadon. And in reality, that card does not attack very often.
Yeah, I was surprised to even see it show up. If I was him, I want Rest in Peace. I want some amount of Path to Exile, but maybe not too much. I want I don't know if I want anything else, honestly.
I think I'm almost just at Path to Exile, or not Path to Exile, at Rest in Peace.
Yeah, I said Rest in Peace.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't know if I would even bother with the Path
Oh,
to Exiles.
not even the past, maybe. I imagine he's probably taking out.
Lavamancers are not great.
Yeah, Lavamancers, and I think. How do you feel about Eidolon?
Eidolon's actually fine.
Okay.
So you're on the play, so Eidolon's gonna be a lot better. The big scare for the deck is like if Bridgevine has a good turn one hand, you're dead. There's nothing you can do about that.
Yeah, that's just you just shrug and move on with your life.
Right, like Rest in Peace can be too slow against Bridgevine. Right.
Yeah.
And that's one of the big concerns. And Grafter's Cage can sometimes do nothing against Bridgevine.
Yeah, I mean if they're just on what
if
Kyle
they're on
was
like
doing
Faithless
last turn,
Looting, double discard 2 bridges and then like play 2 0/0s, and then
yeah,
that's 8 power on the board turn one. Like, what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
Right. And in those cases, yes, your Rest in Peace is too slow. Your entire deck is going to be too slow.
Yeah, if it's not Leyline of the Void or Bust, you know. Yeah.
And we do see the Rest in Pieces come in, and they should come in. They always come in. And I need to pull out this timer now.
Yeah, time to shuffle up. It's fine. See, Alex plays Burn, so he can afford to shuffle this slowly. If you play Control and shuffle this slowly, that's bad.
Yeah, you go to time.
Well, I mean, yeah.
You get a bunch of draws.
Which we've seen 2 different ones, one off stream, one on stream today, at least.
I'm surprised that was a draw. I just like literally lost track of time.
Oh, same. I mean, I guess that seemed like a game where it was actually the decision making it wasn't like slow, but it was not fast, and there were a lot of like decision points, so it just slowed the game down.
Mounts is going to be on the draw this game. It's going to mean that Alex probably gonna be able to put a creature down.
Yeah, if Alex has a creature start, then that's free damage.
Maybe.
I mean, it gets in there, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I mean, like Bridgevine can actually produce blockers.
Not turn 0.
No, they absolutely can't turn 0. Anything involving bridge can put a blocker up turn 0.
Yeah, how do you get it in the
Faithless Looting plus 0?
No, turn like Alex goes first.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Hey man, it's like you get 2 damage, right? Like it's not super impressive. The creatures are not good for Alex in this matchup, other than being able to use them as your own blockers to an extent and exile your opponent's bridges.
Yeah, I mean they can be good. It depends. I don't know. They're not like at their best, but I think they're fine. We're looking at okay.
It was a minute and 50 seconds. Not counting this time because I've stopped the clock.
Yeah. Okay. And then an extra 20 or 30 or whatever this is for. Okay. Yep.
But yeah, I do think Burn is pretty unfavored in this matchup. They're trying to cast 7 spells, and Bridgevine is casting 7 spells by like turn 2.
Yeah. It's a quirky fast graveyard strategy. It is either really good or kind of shit.
No Rest in Peace, no lands, you shipper.
Yeah, that's not what you want. That looks like a lot of Walking Ballistas.
I see at least like 3 XXs in that hand.
Yeah.
But it looks like Mounts is also shipping the 6. I actually think this kind of favors Bridgevine. With Faithless Lootings, Bridgevine is more likely to find the cards that they want. Burn is a density deck, but with a lot of redundancy, but the issue is coming down to that density.
Yeah, like Bridgevine is much more of a... It's like Dredge, similar to Dredge in a few ways, but you're looking for the specific cards, and you can find those specific cards on like a 3 or 4 keep.
Yeah, like if your 3 is like land, Stitcher Supplier, like yeah, you snap that off.
Yeah, like you can get there on very low amounts of cards as long as they're the good ones.
Yeah,
and Burn can't do that.
Yeah, Burn is a density deck. They are looking to cast 7-8 spells in a game, and that particular game, Kyle was of no help to Alex. He dealt 1 point of damage to himself, which is meaningless for Burn, because 1 point doesn't actually get you to any of the relevant breakpoints.
Yep. Well, it matters if you hit him with the Goblin Guide.
Sure.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't.
It does. Wait, does it not? Oh, math.
No, because you go to 17. That's still not a relevant number.
No, you're right. Never mind. Ignore me.
Not a relevant number.
Well, it's relevant if you play.
I see 2 Walking Ballistas and a Street Wraith.
I think it's like I feel like it's the exact same hand he had last time.
No, that's a Viscera Seer. Scry.
He has
looks
2
like,
black cards. 3 black cards.
I see at least 1 Viscera Seer.
Are those grave crawlers?
I think so. I think there's a bridge from below on top of the deck for Kyle. So yeah, you're definitely shipping that one to the bottom. Can't afford to draw that at the moment.
He has no way to get rid of it. Yeah.
Yeah. Turn 1,
right.
Swiss Beer. In for 1.
Yep, get in there.
Faithless Looting is the big draw here, and he hits it.
Wow, that was good.
Definitely fetch shocking.
Yep, going
probably 16.
16. Be pretty surprised if he doesn't do it. Yep, get that Blood Crypt. Yep.
So if this Faithless Looting hits like more than 1 bridge, the game is over.
It's gonna be really hard.
And if it hits only 1 bridge, the game could still be. Oh, that's a Stitcher Supplier. Oh, we were slamming that one instead.
Okay.
Faithless Looting, Insolent Neonate, Viscera Seer. So pretty weak hits here.
That's
but we have a blocker that mills 3.
What is it? A 1/2?
It's a 1/1.
1/1. Okay.
It's a 1/1. But the fact is that it's going to regain 3 life, draw 3 cards here.
Yeah. Alex with to look like 2 Goblin Guides, or possibly those might be. That's a Goblin Guide and a Rift Bolt. Okay.
Yeah.
Those arts look quite
Trigger,
similar.
Land, draw.
Of course.
Snapping this block off on the Goblin Guide, I guess, because your opponent can only play 1 burn spell anyways.
Yeah.
So they're worth the same. So you're just going to take the 1 down to 15.
Could have gotten punked by Mutagen Growth there.
Mill 3. Spear, Collective Brutality.
Well, you're glad if I'm Alex, I'm really happy he milled that one and did not draw it. That's a beating.
Yep. And notably, no help to Kyle any of these draws.
Is that Vengevine?
Yeah, that looks like a Vengevine.
That's the promo one, I guess.
I think so.
That's new.
So you have to fire out the Faithless Looting here, I think. And you don't want to use the land because you could hit Bloodghast.
Yeah, you could hit some Bloodghast, yeah.
Even though to an extent you're looking to discard the Vengevine anyways.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think playing the land here makes any sense. If you draw a second Faithless Looting, like, having the land in your hand is still relevant.
Yeah, you don't benefit from playing land right now.
And it gives you extra information. He has another Stitcher Supplier.
Another Stitcher. I guess, so he had 2 Stitchers, not 2 Grave Crawlers.
Bridge from below.
Land.
Big hit.
And doesn't he have 1 more mill? Or did he mill 2 and one of those off
One
camera?
of them must
maybe?
be off camera.
Okay.
Oh no, he needs to mill 1 more.
Yeah, okay, he's like, oops. That looks like another land. Bloodstained-Mire, I think.
Yep, down to 14 is Mr. Mounts. Fetches up the mountain. This is going to give him a Faithless Looting opportunity.
Okay, well, that's where things start getting real stupid.
So Faithless Looting is going to go ahead and mill at least the Vengevine and potentially another bridge. If he hits another bridge, that's going to put a lot of power on the board for Kyle.
Oh.
Top or bottom?
Gonna put it in the middle. Yeah, there we go.
So for that. Faithless Looting. What's the follow-up?
I mean, yeah, what's...
Second bridge. Oh, that's probably game.
That is...
Must not have been a Vengevine because he discarded that.
He pitched it. He did pitch it.
So Walking Ballista for 0. Trigger.
Yeah.
2.
Yeah, he did pitch it.
Yep,
Yeah,
he did pitch it.
Here,
Vengevine.
Yep.
2 zombies.
Get a whole crap load of stuff.
Play another Walking Ballista. 2 Vengevines. Or 2 zombies.
Oh, 2 Vengevines.
Oh. And then attack for 8.
Attack for 4.
Close enough. Next turn is certainly lethal.
Next.
8, 11. I mean, like, the issue is, I think one of the cards in Kyle's hand is a Bushwhacker. But it could be
no,
Neonate.
it's Neonate. It's Neonate, and is that a Seer?
It might have been a Seer. But in for 4, down to 16 is Alex, but a lot of blockers in the way of Alex's creatures, and there is a Rift Bolt coming out suspend.
Now these creatures are kind of garbage.
Yeah, and that probably has to go upstairs. And the issue with one of the attacks here is that if you do attack, the Stitcher Supplier does just mill another 3 for free.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
And with the Rift Bolt going upstairs with the Prowess trigger, the zombie can actually jump in front of the Swiss Spear and not kill it, so you don't lose your bridges. So it actually puts 1 more power on the board and mills 3 more cards.
Yeah, definitely. I think Alex just has to.
Yeah, and he
just has to say go.
Yeah, I don't think attacking here is very profitable for Alex.
There's really no point. I mean, he's just gonna what's gonna happen? The one's gonna die. It's gonna make another zombie.
Oh,
It's
that's
gonna make 2
Hangerback
more
Walker.
zombies.
Oh god,
What did you draw?
Hangerback Walker.
More zombies. I mean,
So you can start by playing out the. I would not have played the Viscera Seer. I don't think the Viscera Seer matters. I mean, you
Yeah.
can sack
I mean, it's-
here, but like the Hangerback Walker is pretty valuable, and that's a free sack.
yeah, that's free. You just do it.
Get 2 zombies.
So basically, what Alex has to do is just block out for this turn.
Kyle declining to scry apparently.
Yeah, screw it. I'm winning so hard.
Scry 1.
Now you're gonna
That's
do
a
it.
Walking Bliss on top. That one goes to the bottom.
Ooh,
I guess you
okay.
could keep it because of the.
Yeah, sorry. I just thought he drew it for a second because he went back to his hand and there was one in there, but
You get 1 more scry, sir.
yeah, whatever. Who cares?
So my issue is if you're planning on activating the Insolent Neonate this turn, I would have left the Walking Ballista on top so you can discard the Hangerback Walker and then play the Walking Ballista.
Yeah.
This is an attack for 16. We can actually use the Viscera Seer to sack the zombies that are potentially killing Alex's creatures to keep the bridges alive. But I don't think you actually need the bridges anymore.
It probably doesn't matter because Alex is gonna like either burn you out, like shoot everything upstairs and then untap, shoot everything and kill you, or you're gonna win. So it doesn't matter. I think
Alex only has 2 cards left in hand, so
he has 2.
So there's actually no way for Alex to burn out Kyle here.
That's not true. He could go Boros Charm.
It could be Boros Charm, Boros Charm Bolt.
Oh no,
but one of the cards is definitely
one's a
land.
Okay, never mind. Yeah, that's
so you have to Lightning Helix here.
okay. So that sucks because that just gives him more zombies.
So this is currently a net 1. The question is Kyle going to sack the zombies that are being blocked? I think you sacked the one in front of the Goblin Guide, and again, you just let the one.
So this is where Alex.
So Kyle sacked the Vengevine to the Viscera Seer Scry because it fades the 3 life gain for Alex.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yep.
And I think he's gonna sack the zombie being blocked by the Goblin Guide.
You might as well, I think.
Yeah, and he is.
Yeah.
No,
okay.
He's trading. No, he is sacking, and that's a Hangerback Walker on top. So I think I would have left that on top.
Clearly doesn't want any XXs on top for some reason.
So that dies, and then 4 damage comes across. Alice goes down to 12. He might as well sack that one too. Leaves it on top. He finds something he wants.
Maybe I don't know what it is. Anyway, this is where Alex goes fetch Bloodstained Mire, untap Rakdos Charm, right? That's like the only way.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. It's not even enough.
That's so sad. That is really, really terrible. Wait, no.
No, sorry, it's 10. It's 10. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. So if Kyle sacks a creature to make zombies, Rakdos Charm would be lethal.
Unfortunately, I know for a absolute fact that is not going to happen, which makes me very sad. But
it's a blocker, but I don't know if it's relevant because the last card in Alex's hand is a land.
Yeah, I think he's counting it up, and yeah, there it goes.
And he's just scooping.
Well, Bridgevine with a very explosive 2 games.
I mean, the second game was a little bit slower. Like the first top 12 cards of Kyle's deck.
Yeah, he
bricks.
actually got pretty unlucky with his mills, and really was only saved by the fact that he had a relatively high density of things that did put stuff in the graveyard.
Like he had Faithless Looting, double Stitcher Supplier. The first Stitcher Supplier was a complete brick. It missed everything that was relevant and actually milled the card that he wanted.
Yeah.
The second Stitcher Supplier milled over the first bridge, and then the Faithless Looting found the second bridge, I believe. No, sorry, the Stitcher Supplier then on the sack got the second bridge, and then the Faithless Looting put the Vengevine in the yard.
Oh, board Indestructible Revelry? I guess that's for...
He brought in Claims and Destructible Revelry
I guess
to
for
beat the Rest in Pieces.
Eidolon/Rest in Peace.
I like the Revelries. I think they're fine. They are, at the very least, some damage that can go upstairs.
If there's a target.
If there's a target.
Yeah.
And if there's not, you're playing a Faithless Looting deck.
Yeah, that's true. That's reasonable.
Right. It's kind of like the same mentality with bringing in cards in Brainstorm decks. Like, if it's bad, you can Brainstorm it away. In this particular case, you can always Faithless Looting it away. Not always, but...
or you might mill it or whatever. If you don't have it in your opening hand, you're probably not going to see it.
Well, I mean, you can if you start Faithless Looting because you're not playing Dredge, right? You actually do draw the cards in your deck.
But you could be not drawing your cards in your deck. That'd be cool.
The issue is, like, you end up playing too many cards that don't do anything in those versions of the deck.
No, I know. So, anyway, I'm going to go check on backup because that was really fast.
Yep. As it turns out, the deck that puts 8 power on the board on like turn 2 is significantly better against the deck that's putting like 3 power on the board and a bunch of burn spells at your face. So pretty good matchup for Bridgevine, I think. The deck is just a little bit too fast for burn. And unfortunately, Burn's interaction doesn't really line up particularly well here. I don't like, for instance, I don't think the Deflecting Palms do anything. And the Rest in Pieces can often be too slow. Although in this game, the Rest in Pieces would have been plenty good to win the game. I do think Alex might have a little bit overboarded for this matchup. Deflecting Palms seem a little bit excessive, and the creatures are totally reasonable as blockers, just to exile Bridges. Bridges are one of the scariest cards to deal with from the Bridgevine deck, as rarely are you going to get into a spot where they're going to create situations where you can profitably block and exile their Bridges. And you kind of saw it too, right? Where like with the Bridge in the yard, you didn't even want to attack into the Stitcher Supplier, because that means they functionally gain 3 life, draw 3 cards, and got more power onto the board for free, right? Like none of that cost them anything, as it already basically got its value when you cast it in the first place. So Stitcher Supplier, an absolute boon to the deck. Compared to the old Dredgevine list, which had some speed, but were lacking in that consistency. And for this deck, just getting the one extra enabler, and a very powerful one at that, has made the deck incredibly consistent. I believe also versions of the deck play Corpse Churn pretty frequently. It lets you mill over some cards and then return a creature from your graveyard, so it lets you buy back your milled Bushwhackers for some more value and some damage, or even just a XX creature to get a bunch more zombies off of your Bridge from Belows.
We're done.
All right, so it looks like we're done.
Yeah, there really wasn't anyone who was still playing. Our feature apparently, our backup feature, I guess, split or finished so ridiculously fast that they weren't even sitting there. And everyone else that was still playing was either playing for fun or were already in Game 3.
All right, so that's going to be it for this evening. We mostly saw either blue decks go to time, combo decks get lucky, and Bridgevine roll somebody.
That's called combo deck getting lucky, I think.
I feel like that was not even like above average luck though, because like if he was getting lucky,
the game is over.
The game would have ended on turn 1, where there's 8 power on the board and Alex just concedes.
Yeah, I wonder how that deck plays against like a deck that interacts at all.
The interaction's often too slow. Often.
So how does the deck lose? That's led to itself then.
Well, I mainboard a Bojuka Bug.
I mean, okay, whatever. I don't give a shit what you mainboard.
Realistically, the deck will have problems with not control decks per se, because the interaction's gonna be too slow a lot of time. You don't want to be bolting these creatures when they have Bridges from Belows, right?
Yeah, that's not happening.
So like the white-based control decks, blue-white in particular, is a little bit better off. A single Terminus ends this deck.
Yeah, Terminus sounds like a problem.
And you don't really have a lot of good ways to play around it unless you have the Viscera Seer or Gargadon and Suspend. And if you have the Viscera Seer, they can always just kill that first and then Terminus you.
Yeah.
So the blue-white control deck has the best matchup of all the control decks, because it literally has no way to remove creatures besides exiling them or Supreme Verdict.
Yeah.
So they're the most suited to playing from behind. Also, in particular, Detention Sphere is very good in this matchup, as you can exile all the zombies at once.
Right. Yeah, that's good.
So it can remove the most amount of power from the board at one time, and that's at 3 mana. So it gives you a piece of earlier interaction and a piece of better late game interaction. Yeah, Anger of the Gods, also very powerful in the matchup. Creatures don't die, so they don't get zombies. Decks that are...
Echoing Truth, I guess.
Sure. I mean, it plays, but
It's sketch.
it's fine. Like Echoing Truth is doing a similar thing to Detention Sphere in that sense, but it's awkward, right? Like bring a bounce spell in like that, because unlike Detention Sphere where you can hit like a real creature and call it a day,
Yeah.
you can basically only Echoing Truth tokens for it to really get good value. Like tokens or exactly Vengevine. Otherwise, the rest of the cards in the deck are way too cheap for the Echoing Truth to be particularly effective.
I guess, but what are they winning with outside of
just Bushwhacker? Like Bushwhacker beats sometimes.
Oh, I guess so. Then you suck because you lost to the worst version of 8-whack ever.
And the other issue is holding out mana against this deck means that you're not advancing your own particular game plan.
Yeah.
And a lot of decks playing Echoing Truth are not that. The other option to beat Bridgevine, realistically, are some of the combo decks. Bridgevine is fast, but it's not always killing you by turn 4 consistently.
Yeah.
And if you are able to go off turn 3, turn 4, which a lot of the combo decks right now are totally capable of doing, Bridgevine can find themselves very dead.
Yeah.
In particular, Scapeshift is a little bit rough because they do have the main deck sweepers, but also KCI and Storm are both very difficult matchups for Bridgevine, and they're bringing in Thoughtseizes and Leylands in the Void to try to fight back.
Yeah, this deck seems a lot worse versus Hand Disruption than something like Dredge.
Yeah. Thoughtseizes is decent against Bridgevine. Hitting an Enabler is relevant. Even a Faithless Looting is relevant in this matchup.
Yeah, you like go after Faithless Looting. I mean, worst case scenario, you take
suppliers, Insolent Neonates, whatever, right? Like whatever whatever gives the deck the most gas in that particular spot.
Yeah.
And of course, also it loses to itself. It loses to itself a not insignificant amount of time.
Yeah.
The floor of the deck is fairly low. You kind of saw part of the floor in part of game 2 where Kyle just bricked, right? Like he did not hit anything on the first 11 cards of his deck. If he didn't have the second Stitcher Supplier, which he wasn't necessarily super likely to have, he would have lost that game. He would have just not had any action, and he would have died to burn.
Yeah, like you have less like mill than Dredge does, and you have less hits than Dredge does.
So you have more hits.
I think you have the same or more. I don't know, but I would say that
because like Prize Amalgams only hit if you also hit Narcomoeba or Narcomoeba Ore, and then in this case you're playing the full 12 hits.
I suppose,
right? In the sense that all 12 of your hits don't need to interact with the other hits to make the deck work. Right, because like Vengevine does not rely on Bridge or Bloodghast being in your yard to be good.
Yeah,
Bloodghast does not require Bridge to be good. Bridge does not require Vengevine or Bloodghast to be good.
Yeah.
So all of your hits are independent from each other as far as interacting from the graveyard is concerned. And Gravecrawler, so you're actually playing 16 hits. Although Gravecrawler only plays if you have a sack outlet.
Yeah, Gravecrawler. Well, a lot of times you can't even cast a Gravecrawler unless you milled it with the supplier,
right? If you mill it with supplier, or if you have a Bridge in your yard.
Well, obviously, if you already have Bridge going, you're in okay shape,
right? Like
if that's the only thing you hit, it kind of sucks.
That is the only other zombie in the deck. It's basically Stitcher Supplier and Bridge from Below. But luckily, Bridge from Below is very effective at getting your Bloodghast back or Gravecrawlers back. So the deck has a lot of not redundancy, but enough payoffs, as it were. Gravecrawler being by far the worst, but Gravecrawler is also an enabler to an extent, as it both enables some of your best Bridge lines as well as some of your best Vengevine lines.
Yeah. I mean, you need to put 60 cards in a deck, so whatever.
Yeah, and it's not like the deck is looking at playing Street Rave. So yeah, for the most part, Bridgevine is unhappy about dealing with combo decks. The combo decks tend to be a little bit faster than you're ready for. In particular, I'd imagine that they can literally never beat ad nauseum.
Probably, usually not. I could. I mean, you need the really fast. Like I made 2 Vengevines turn 1 hands, right?
But even then, like Angel's Grace and
but then that's like
or like a Phyrexian on life.
Yeah, but I mean, let's say like that gives you the opportunity to force them to like lose potentially.
I mean, like if they play a turn 3 Phyrexian on life, you cannot kill them until your turn 4 or 5, which means that they have an opportunity to just untap and kill you.
Yeah, but no one's playing ad nauseum, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, humans has clearly pushed the deck out of the metagame. On the other hand, like this deck does have a favorable matchup against most of the creature aggro strategies. Burn is not quite a creature aggro strategy, but it is doing something kind of similar.
I'd say it's close. Yeah.
And humans is pretty not favored in the matchup unless humans can have like a turn 1 bile and just creatures, so many creatures, and that's not always reliable in the matchup. Spirits is not good in this matchup, and you have a pretty good matchup against like Grixis control, a less good matchup against Jeskai control and a poor matchup against blue-white control, just because of the nature of the sweepers that they're choosing to play. Grixis control definitely not happy to play against Bridgevine, as every one of their cards say destroy and not exile.
Yeah.
So killing a creature is often the same as giving your opponents
three mana.
More creatures.
Play Snapcaster, bolt my Snapcaster.
Yeah,
feels bad.
Like, and you will do that. Like, that's the best option you have. You do occasionally see the Bridgevine list playing Dark Blast in the main deck, though, so they do sometimes play some Dreaders.
Yeah, I've seen that before. I'm a fan of Dark Blast. I think Dark Blast is a very good card, even if you're not playing Dredge.
Yeah, like, it's just a reasonable removal spell in this case. And there is some Nombo for your bridges, but you'll take those.
I mean, if you're playing against Infect, you play Dark Blast.
You're in a good spot.
The game is over. They cannot win.
So that's it for the evening. I can't even remember. Round 3 was what? KCI Mirror after...
It was the Burn Mirror. And then
Burn Mirror into KCI Mirror.
Yeah.
Not the most exciting games that one was.
I like the Burn Mirror. KCI Mirror less so, but it's funny to see it all.
I mean, it's a funny deck. So that's it for this evening. This is Collector Legion Stream. I'm Will.
I'm Wyatt. Oh yeah. See his face for like a second. He's there. He's not just a shoulder.
That's my face.
You know. Resident Hearthstone player William Kim.
Yeah, resident Hearthstone player and Magic casual. Trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, there's like PPTQs and stuff happening every weekend, basically.
There's stuff happening. I don't know what any of it is. Come by and buy stuff.
Tomorrow is Legacy. Friday is Modern and Draft, I believe, usually. If those fire, or Modern Standard, if it fires.
Are you down here on Legacy night?
I'm usually here on Legacy nights.
Okay.
I might not be playing this week, as I lent out my deck to someone and they did not give it back to me in a timely manner. So I will have to get that back later.
You have more decks.
But not built, and I don't want to build it tonight because I want to go home and sleep.
You don't just have like Death and Taxes ready to go?
No, Death and Taxes is the deck that I lent out.
Oh, you don't just have Soldier Stompy ready to go?
What? My Thalias are gone, dude.
You don't own more than 4 Thalias?
No.
Garbage.
I could put together Omnitel.
Yeah.
I do own a second Underground Sea now to make that deck actually like perfect mana base. But so that's all we got. And I think that's all for the notes. So
yeah,
all I got, unless he wants to say something.
I don't have anything. If we don't cut the stream now, Will's just going to talk about Omnitel. So
yeah,
that's it. We will see you guys next week probably, and on this stream probably tomorrow. I don't know the schedule, but maybe.
Usually we don't stream on Thursdays, so the next
I think
time
they do like MTGO stuff on Thursdays.
Yeah, there's some MTGO stream stuff that happens on Thursdays and throughout most of the week, but we won't be streaming Legacy likely tomorrow. So I think tomorrow's like Justin Moore Brown or something. I don't know who's on this computer constantly.
Yeah, there's a way to find out what's happening on the stream. I don't know what it is. Talk to Grim.
Yeah. Facebook Grim.
Yeah, at Grim.
At Grim or at Not Salvador.
That's it. We're cutting stream. Good night, everyone. Easy listening.